welcome. Welcome everyone. Welcome to MSRL. We are round 2 at Bathurst on our 3rd season. Joining me this round, we have Positive Path as well as Psycho Kaiser. Say hi, everyone.
Yeah, hello everybody. We are back for the second season. No, not second season. Second round of the 3rd season of the championship. All right. So so far, do we do a recap of the previous race? I would
Sure.
say it's very eventful, if I must say myself. So if you're not into spoiler alerts, I figured you should probably mute the stream for a bit. But basically, qualifying was a bit of a shocker. We thought that I would say that Raiden Shogun was the favorite for qualifying, pretty much. But Davin Palsing in the Ferrari 296 shocked us with pole position, and of course during the race. There was quite a number of incidents, most notably turn at the end of lap 1, where Ikuko, the number 193 Lamborghini, clipped, I believe, was Hazik in the Porsche. And of course, other notable incidents, and I believe we also had a battle for the lead of the race between Raiden Shogun and Dalvin Dal Singh, and of course, the former getting the spoils of the race by winning the Japanese Grand Prix, and of course still being in the lead of the race. But of course we have our own point system, which actually turned out to be doing quite well, I would say. But I'll let Newbie explain about our point system. So basically, we're going to go to the standings. Right, take it away.
Standings. Essentially, what we have is that the leader gets 20 points, and it's 2 points deduction all the way until at P10. So that means you get 20, 18, 16, 15, 14. Actually, it's more than that. It goes all the way up to 0. And additional to that, you also get fastest lap points as well as pole position points. And as such, we have the standings as you can see here, with Raiden taking home the win at 20 points, Delvin at second place, but having both pole position as well as the fastest lap, giving him a tie for first. Naim in third at 16 points. Feldman, Herzog, Adib, both Farhans next to each other, Azrin, Arteta, and so on. Of course, when you are out of the points, you get no points, but be adamant enough and you might get some points over the season. Other than the overall standings, you also have the M class as well. The M class is the class where we have slower drivers there to have a leaderboard to compete with, and we also decided to have the fastest as well as the pole position points for them as well. So they will have their separate leaderboards. They are slightly different from the overall leaderboards, but they will get to race with all the points that are allowed to them. And with that, Farhan is the first. Farhan is leading, the number 95 Farhan at 20 points. Then you have
quite the upset, wasn't it? When with M Farhan taking the lead.
Yeah, it is pretty much, because we see that Azrin being the pole position as well as the fastest lap. We did expect him to get the fastest, to be the fastest driver. Unfortunately, with M class, what we expect is that drivers are a little bit less consistent, and what happens is that you'll have mistakes happen, and as such you'll see Azrin being the fastest driver as well as the pole position driver getting P3 in contention with the number 89 Farhan. I'm sorry, Psycho, what did I step over?
No, I was gonna say to everyone, for context, if you see both names with M Farhan, basically number 95 is in the Ferrari, and number 89 is in the Porsche. So even though they have the same name, they drive different cars. So
we'll call them the F Farhan and the P Farhan.
Yes, exactly. Ferrari Farhan and Porsche Farhan. We shall address them as them, as literally those. Okay. So if you notice, we say like Ferrari Farhan or Porsche Farhan, it's because both of them have the same same name, pretty much. So do bear with us with that one. Anyway, so we get on to the racetrack now. So if you're wondering where we're going to be racing at today, we'll be racing at Mount Panorama. And as we speak, it's actually the start of qualifying for this round. So yeah, from the from everyone's observations, Nick, notably you, I would say that I would say a lot of people have been really kissing the wall too much, if I must say. But then again, it's Mount Panorama we're talking about. So if you don't know what Mount Panorama is, or sometimes we call it Bathurst, basically it's a track in Australia. Okay, most notably, as you can see, littered with barriers left and right. And of course, we're racing in the mountains. So you can see it by quite drastic elevation change, notably through this sector. And you can see I believe this is Adib. Okay, Adib in that beautiful liveried M4. So he's going through Skyline at the moment, dips down a bit, and I believe Pav, we were talking a bit about like the dipper. Why is it so dangerous? Yeah, this is what I meant. So you're going downhill
Oh,
through here.
there's an
It's
elevation change.
literally S's, and yes, there's a lot of elevation changes. A lot of things could go wrong. If we were to take a real life example, that would be for me at least. Since I watch V8 Supercars, or nowadays it's called the Australian Supercars Championship. Most notably, I believe it was one of the Pepsi Fords, Pepsi sponsored Fords. This was back in 2014. This was like a long time ago, but like he had like a massive shunt into the wall. I think like might have broken his legs in the process. But yeah, it's a really tricky corner to get to, especially in real life. Of course, we see a lot of people a lot of drivers do take it very cautiously. I think virtually, of course, knowing online lobbies and such, it's not really, I would say the walls are merely a suggestion.
Obviously, elevation plays a huge role in real life because the fact that going downhill, going uphill, huge change. But how much does that replicate in Assetto Corsa?
I would say since the track is laser scan and all, it's actually close to accurate. Of course, there's bound to be limitations in terms of the simulation. If you want to be
but
all
going downhill,
sense.
for example, you can really feel the change in acceleration.
Oh yeah, just like that. Naim actually had a bit of an oversteer just as he was transitioning into the left-hander earlier. I was gonna go to a replay, but I think that would take probably a bit of a long time, so rather not. Anyway, riding on board with Amirul Naim, I believe he got P3 in his first race overall. So, yeah, well done to him. And of course, he's getting a lot of support from his friends and family. I believe he talked about it in the server. And yeah, we wish him really good luck.
Really?
I think the one
He
you're
has
talking
support
about
from his
is
friends and family?
no, the one you're talking about is Azrin, number 555.
Oh, Azrin, okay,
He has
sorry.
his dad's watching apparently. So hi, Dad.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, my bad.
amazing.
Yeah, his dad
Yeah,
apparently is a previous race car driver, so he definitely got help from his
Yo.
dad in terms of setting up the car. We'll see
He's
how
a
viable it
legacy
is.
driver.
Yeah, we'll see how viable it is because actually, Assetto Corsa has its own meta in terms of what setups work and what setup doesn't. It doesn't mean that his dad's input wouldn't help, but if you want to get the most out of the physics of ACC, you will have to make sure that you are aligned with the meta to make it work. But at the end of the day, it's up to the driver to make sure that you can keep it away from the wall and you can just cross the line without issues.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you would keep it away from the wall? Like the mechanics of how you would make sure that you go down that hill as fast as possible and as safely as possible.
Honestly,
Obviously, just tapping the brake isn't enough.
yes. Honestly, to get it right, and here it's very complicated. Essentially, you have to make sure that you're not pushing it every corner. It is a test of greed. Bathurst is. It's making sure that you don't push as hard as possible, making sure that you're not just gunning it every single corner, and just making sure that you have a very consistent car that's equally quick. What this course tests you is your consistency, to make sure that you know that your car is right. To also test driver skills to make sure that you can feel when the car is not right and when to slow down, when to not slow down, as well as to try. It's a test of your confidence on your own car. Are you the type that will take risks and be like, all right, I'm gonna brake after this just so I could be quicker, or would you tell yourself I'm gonna be braking slightly earlier just so I could just end the race without an issue? There are different types of people here that you'll see throughout the race. You'll see people braking very late for the sake of braking very late. There are some that will just brake early or just coast early just to make sure that things don't go wrong. And you'll see different types of approaches to this. If your car is really set up for it, you'll see drivers brake very late. They'll go the maximum they can. And if your car is really safe or you're just not confident with the car, you'll start to brake early. You'll make sure that you're slow just to make sure that you cross the line. And honestly, to keep it out of the corners, you just need to have time here. The more hours you spend here, the more you'll feel the nuances of the car as it goes through undulation. You'll feel your steering wheel go light. You'll feel that it's gonna go a bit scary for you, and that's when the time, if you're an experienced driver, to tell yourself you should slow it down slightly. Not slow it down completely, but you should, keep it within the limits of the car, not push for every single second.
In Valor, we talk about avoiding discomfort. Like when you feel unsafe, it's probably when you are unsafe.
Yes, it is very prominent here. Once you know it's unsafe, usually it's too late. It's usually when you go through a corner, you'll be like, crap, this is gonna suck, and then you'll just hit the wall. So it's important to know your car and to know that before you enter a corner. That usually comes down to very small details like you can't make the apex before you enter. You feel like you're turning a bit too late. That's when, before you enter the corner, if you have this kind of feeling, it's time to already step on the brakes just to slow the car down just enough that you are safe. Some people won't feel that, and when it's too late, you might just hit the wall, you might end up losing it, and that's when you might just wash up the entire race, which is pretty important not to do here.
So really the absolute worst that could happen, well, obviously the worst that could happen is that you impact something and you lose lots and lots of time and lots of damage. But like, otherwise the absolute worst that could happen is you just take it all really slowly.
Yes, if you are focusing on surviving, the best way to do it is to just take it slow. So,
but that of course sacrifices a stupid amount of confidence.
Yes, but also you have to think about it. The track is very narrow. You do not have runoff. What happens when you are racing is that once you go off, you're going to be blocking the road because you don't have any exit roads there. And that's going to be a very big problem, and that's going to suck even more for everyone else involved. You're going to be in the middle of the road, you'll be scared out of your mind. You're going to be worried that people are going to come up the hill and not realize that you're there. And what happens is that someone's going to ram into you. You're going to cause other people's races. So it's important overall just to be safe, just so that you don't get a red flag. Red flag means that we'll stop the entire session. It will also mean that you'll be safe. You won't just crash out. It's important just to be safe. It is a very big training ground for drivers here because mistakes are basically not tolerated here if you want to win.
Yeah, you have to keep it clean and beat fast at the same time. But yeah, as we speak, we actually have quite a battle for pole position at the moment. So as we speak, we're currently looking at the timing screen right now. You can see right here that actually Amirul Naim is actually on provisional pole position. He was actually 7/10 of his time. And actually, he's giving Raiden Shogun a run for his money, actually. So, yeah, he's currently driving the Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo. So, I believe like in real life, in the Bathurst 12 hours that happened like a few months ago, earlier this year, yeah, this is actually a pretty strong car. Yeah,
and wish Raiden just sniped it.
Yeah, but actually just snatched it. So he's currently on provisional pole by 900ths of a second. So we could see quite a tight battle for pole position.
Honestly,
right here.
It's really comfortable to be driving the AMG here. It has always been the track favorite. It is a very comfortable car. It's really strong on the straights, and the next contender here will be the 720S Evo. It's still new, but people have been realizing that this is what we mean by being too risky.
Yeah, that's actually one of the risks of running in Mount Panorama. So you could see that that Raiden actually took quite a big slide almost into the wall.
That's there a problem there. Yeah, if he did Ikuko's lap, that might get a call to the stewards in near a bit, but everyone's going off. It might be everyone's just chilling out a bit.
That's Naim. I believe he was doing a better lap, but he didn't. He can manage to to a better one, sadly.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, we are looking at our guy in second place,
And he's parking
Dalvin
again.
Helsing,
Everyone's
and
parking.
he's stopped it. Yeah, he's stopped on track and he's returned to the pits. Anyway, yeah. So last race, I would say we had quite a number of incidents. All of them have been investigated post race, and yeah, let's just say some of them were really how to put this in a sugar-coated way. It's very I'd say it's quite stern, but given the circumstances of whatever happened, the one that we saw on the replay, and yeah, I heard the students were having a field day on one of the particular incidents.
Yeah.
Which yeah.
Unfortunately, I think it's I could say this as part of sim racing as a whole, that it's not fun to have childish behavior in sim racing. As much as we like
Yeah.
racing, at the end of the day, racing is for us to have fun. And I think from what we've seen in the stewards meeting, certain characteristics we just don't want to be here. At the end of the day, we need to remember that we are all here for fun. We're not racing for grand prizes. We might have disagreements with other people, but at the end of the day, unless we see malicious intent, we should not be retaliating. We should always be professional. We're all adults here. Even if you're a kid, you should also show maturity. And most importantly, just to have fun. At the end of the day, we all make mistakes. It's important to discuss about it and not just go a fit. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, when I saw the verdict coming out, I was actually quite shocked to see that happening in the first place. I mean, we kind of missed it in commentary, if we're being honest, but it's okay. I guess like the stewards have already done their job, so excellent job to the stewards for giving it a very fair verdict. Even though some people might say it's harsh, but to be honest. We can't set a precedent. I would say the stewards or the league as a whole can't set a precedent. So basically, if we were to give like a like a mild slap to the wrist warning, I would say it's it's not really gonna favor really well for us in the long run. But yeah, it's okay. That aside, actually, I was gonna point out we actually have one newcomer in this league. So he's a Scotsman driving the McLaren 720S Evo. So
Jordan Brunch.
Oh yeah, I was actually quite surprised. He said that he was gonna race. He actually told me. He actually approached me at the time, and he said like, "Yo, can I race in the MSRL?" I thought he was kind of joking about it because I know we race on a Friday, which at the moment, I believe at the moment in his home country, he's actually 6 hours ish behind. So it's currently the afternoon for him. So I thought like, oh, I don't know if he could make it, but if he could, that'd be nice.
Nice afternoon drive.
Yeah, he's currently making his debut in the McLaren 720S. Fun fact, because I know him from like another racing league that I was in. So yeah, we both are currently teammates in the other racing league. We're both running the Lexuses, and yeah, we're about to have like a final race for the Lexus tomorrow before we depart, before we part ways for different cars. So currently he's driving, like I said, the McLaren 720S Evo. Truth be told, I haven't even driven this car. I don't know if I want to commentate and curse him just for the lols, but it's all right. I think he almost did back a month ago, I believe, when he was commentating as well, ironically enough. And earlier he joked about earlier he asked me like, "Are you going to commentate this curse me again, Psycho?" And I promptly replied, "Yes, yes, I will." But don't worry, this is just qualifying. At the moment, he's currently P10. I would say that he still needs to find quite a lot of time through the mountain section of this track. But at the moment, yeah, like I said, he's currently 5 seconds off the pace from the leader, but he's in AM. So I would say the nearest AM driver that he could get close to is probably like 3 seconds away. So I believe that Jordan might be just warming up to the track for a bit. I get that Mount Panorama is not really the best place that you could debut. in a racing league at. This is like, I would say, the equivalent of Monaco in like F1 games. So basically, I know some people have actually debuted in Monaco back when we had the F1 Racing League. And yes, we do run our F1 Racing League as well. We do it on Saturdays, but at the moment we're still preparing for the new season. And of course, we actually have a one-off race involving Proton Saga taxis. So
Hey.
yeah,
Yes.
would you like to take it away for all the details?
Me? Alright, let's go. Welcome everyone to our big announcement. We are going to do the 69 minutes of Sepang. When is this gonna happen? On Merdeka Day, August 31st. What we're gonna do, we're doing taxis. As you can see, we're doing the Saga taxi. We are gonna do 69 minutes and we're gonna celebrate together. We'll be playing. Usually what we do is we'll be in a group chat, chatting along, making sure everyone's alright, making sure everyone's happy. Oh, as you see Jordan in the wall. You can't see that right now because the screen's up there. But we'll be enjoying ourselves, listening to Merdeka songs, you know, goofing around in the Saga cars. They are amazingly fun. They are amazingly
I love that
goofy.
you added a hotline pad in the back there. It's like, that's such a detail.
Sepang at night is going to be gorgeous
Yeah,
here.
man.
We are running it in Assetto Corsa. So if you are interested in joining, you can join it through the Discord link in our description, or you can scan the QR code right now.
Yeah, anyone can join this race, so it's not just limited to us MSR members, but everyone here, if you're watching this stream, if you have a Assetto Corsa and you are free on the 31st of August, go and join our Discord. Okay, you can scan the QR code on the bottom right corner, or just you can probably type in the Discord link that's on the bottom right corner as well. But yeah, I would say that this has been an annual event for us in MSRL. It's seen quite a lot of funny moments. I think the first race, most notably, I believe I was driving a silver Saga. I didn't go for the taxi because at the time it was we weren't really strictly going to the taxi. It was mostly nostalgia purposes because back then. I think back then my late grandpa actually had a silver Saga taxi. Sorry, not a taxi. It's a silver Saga. But yeah, it brings out quite a lot of nostalgia. I believe I was leading for like half the race, and then that incident with the with one of the back markers happened. I think like Newbie was there as well.
Yes, I was
He
right next to
raced
you.
it. Yeah, it was funny. So I think like Newbie eventually won the race, and last year we ran with the we tried the multi-class we tried the multi-class race. So basically the taxi is a must, obviously, and of course a faster class, that's the I would say in real life is the MSR championship, the Malaysian I can't remember what's the actual name of it,
I don't remember
but
MSR as
it's
well.
just called MSR pretty much. And of course it's like you know, cup car. You could say it's like the TCR of Malaysia. We just use Malaysian cars and just everyone drives around in hot hatchbacks and of course some Civics.
I actually do have a friend that actually races in real life MSR in the Saga.
Oh yeah, that's very
In
nice though.
A race tune Saga, or
Oh, there is a race tune Saga.
It is a
FYI,
racing Saga. Yeah, it's stripped interior. It's like Cup Series.
wait, as in the old box Proton Saga?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, explain.
well, I'm not.
Like-
I'm not. I don't have too much detail in it, but essentially, you have. You can search for MSR online. It takes part in Sepang. What happens is that you will have. I think you have different cups, right, Psycho?
Yeah, I mean, I believe they do have Pro-Am, Am, or something like that. But yeah, I believe like they have
that's
their
360
Sagas
was talking
stripped
about.
down of their interior and make it race-worthy. There's actually an Assetto Corsa mod of it. I think like I still have it, but basically it's okay. In terms of the handling, I would say I've driven this multiple times on Assetto, ironically not on a controller.
Mid-engine converted Saga.
Yeah, it's a 4G63. They use a Mitsubishi engine.
Even
I mean, the whole car
What?
itself is a Mitsubishi in essence, but basically they put the engine from the Evo into the Saga, I believe. It's either the Evo or the Colt.
God.
The Satria, as we know it. Anyway, it's already the end of qualifying. Mark Feldman is currently in P3. We were watching Adip. Adip is in P4. And yeah, Naim also couldn't improve on his time. Anyway, that leaves us with Raiden Shogun. He's coming through the chicane after the chase. And yeah, I believe like looking at the Delta is actually more or less matching his own time. So I'm not sure like if he's going to improve or not. But we shall see on the final corner. What time is he going to do? Oh, he's improving a bit. Oh, he didn't improve much. But yeah, currently, Raiden Shogun in pole position just ahead of Amirul Naim in P2. And Mark Feldman in P3 for the Porsche squad.
Hey.
So yeah, I don't know what happened to Dalvin. He might have struggled a bit with his setup, or probably with the car in general. But yeah, he's gonna have to work his way up the field. And funnily enough, he's actually joined by Flavio Herzog.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it
both of
seems
them-
like both
Yeah.
our veterans in the Ferrari as well as in the Huracan are having issues. This is kind of common for them since round 1. They are having issues in terms of finding their pace in qualifying, but given their experience, I have no doubt they're just going to climb the grid in no time.
Mm-hmm. All right, so yeah, we're gonna go into the race. I believe like we have an 8-minute countdown. So to those who are just tuning in to our live stream, welcome. I hope you all are enjoying your Friday, and yeah, we are just getting ready for the race. So we have our 8-minute cooldown for. Of course, for everyone to prepare their setup, or of course go for a quick number 2 trip to,
We
to
can
the
make-
loo.
I don't think we can make a number 2, but we can definitely make a number 1.
I mean, someone out there has already done a number 2 in
God.
probably 5 minutes. Okay, someone out there must have done it. But of course, yeah, everyone's preparing for the race, and yeah, I'd like to give it to both of you. I'd like to ask both of you.
Yes, gentlemen,
what
as
are
we
your
debate the finer points of the number 1 and number 2.
Oh yeah, what are your expectations for this race? What's your predictions for today's race?
What were we talking about? What were we saying earlier about Emma's-Rin, the 555?
So,
Seeing there's a
the
lot of interest
555,
around him.
Oh, Azrin, yeah. Azrin currently in P5. He's actually in AM pole position, sandwiched between a couple of pro drivers. He's actually sandwiched between a couple of pro drivers.
I
so,
think-
yeah,
I think
making his
Azrin does
stride.
have the pace, and if they can keep it clean, he can definitely be within the pros. The only problem is similar to last week, having issues, and that's what's important for Azrin is to keep it clean, making sure that we don't have any issues, surviving the entire race, and I think he'll be really set in winning this entire championship. But as we all know, sometimes we have pace, but we don't have consistency. So it's always important to be consistent. Guys, learn to be consistent. It's really important.
Yep, just like a musical career, don't be a one-hit wonder.
Hey,
Okay, make
Sometimes it's
absolute
not one, yeah.
bangers. I don't know. That's just my analogy over the thing. Yeah, I think I remember like back then when I started ACC, my mindset was literally just go fast as even though if it's one lap or whatever, and that may have cost me quite a bit in the long run. But of course, eventually you learn how to drive. How to drive more consistently over long hours. I think like back then when we first had our MSRL ACC league, I think it was one of the testing races. Yeah, we were testing the game for a bit. Yeah, I remember like Newbie and I were battling for the lead a couple of times. I think we both like exchanged trophies ish for
time,
the testing
yes.
races. Yeah. But of course, now it's already a different time, and yeah, I think if anything, I still believe Newbie's still faster.
I fortunately have game paced. I could safely say F0 drivers like to use my base setup, but
What is your base setup?
the base setup is basically a sort of baseline where we start working out setup. essentially in ACC, we have the benefit of Kunos, which is the developer giving us some sort of baseline. But soon enough, as quick drivers start to play around with the setup, they start to notice a trend for each car, which we call the meta setup. The meta will be, certain suspension behaviors, certain damper behaviors, and because me being a driver that likes to rely on setups a bit more, I tend to work on my setups a lot, and I usually just share it to my friends, and some of them are really quick. Some of them qualify for SRO North America, some of them qualify for SRO Europe, and sometimes they just use my setup because my setups are pretty safe.
Would you say setup is part of being consistent, like you were saying earlier?
It can be. At the end of the day, it can be once you're pushing it to the absolute limit. But if you're really new, right, it's important to focus on your driving. Driving will give you the consistency. The setup will give you the pace. So, but it doesn't mean that the setup is the be all and end all. It's just that it is also part of your entire
Of course.
arsenal of being quick.
All right. So yeah, I would say that a lot of these drivers may tweak their setup for the race. Of course, there's no parc fermé rules, which means that drivers can freely change their setups whenever they like between sessions. So we could see probably some shake-up during the race, but of course, this is an hour and a half. This is an hour and a half race, pretty much 1 hour and 30 minutes. So a lot can happen, especially in Mount Panorama. The walls are everywhere. I mean, you can see from the trailer as well. Those Mount Panorama, just everyone navigating through the narrow section of the mountain. So yeah, I would say that there might be a pileup, but as long as everyone keeps it together, hopefully it should all be fine.
Yeah,
Because like especially in the dipper, which is the S's section of the track, you could say that the road is quite narrow. Okay, the track is quite narrow in that section, and if someone, I don't want to commentate to curse anyone, but basically if someone were to spin out at that section, especially at the race start, yeah, those behind them will probably have a really hard time avoiding them. Avoiding the set spun car. All right, so
Is it ever a good idea to just come to a complete stop?
I mean, I believe that a lot of the racing leagues, especially the professional ones, they put an emphasis on holding your brakes. So let's say if you got yourself into a spin, so while you're in the middle of spinning or something, you're obliged to basically just hold your brakes and just hope for the best. All right, hold your brakes and hope for the best. Don't don't let go of your brakes, or else you'll be penalized. I believe Newbie has more in-depth explanation of it is because I haven't encountered such rules in some of the racing leagues I've been in.
I'm sorry, what are we talking about? Sorry, I zoned out.
Oh damn. Okay.
Sorry.
So we were talking about the holding your brakes, the bagel.
Yes, holding your
on the
brakes
racing
is
league.
important because once you crash, you don't want to cause more crashes. It's important to be predictable, and when a car is holding your brakes, what happens is that the car will be stationary. So you need to make sure that your car doesn't cause more incidents. You don't want your car to get crashed even more. So long as you don't move, it's up to the other car's responsibility to get around you. And this is more prominent in Bathurst, where you have basically nowhere to go, and if you're already blocking one side of the road, you might as well not roll back behind just to block the other side of the road. So that's really important.
All right. So anyway, sorry to interrupt, but we are currently almost 10 seconds away from the race start. So we are gonna go through a full formation lap of the track before we get underway with the hour and a half race. So I believe this at the moment conditions are looking quite cold here. Is it actually that cold? But it's actually like at midnight. Is it midnight?
No, it's 6 in the morning.
6 in the morning. So well, we might as well be following the official.
What just happened? Why did one person start and stop?
Sorry?
What just happened? Why did someone start and stop?
Oh, so this is
someone
the formation
started
lap. So what happens is
Yeah.
that we are trying to warm up tires. So you see a lot of drivers go forward, go backwards, accelerate and brake, accelerate and brake. This is not the racing lap. This is the formation lap.
Oh.
So what this means is that we are parading a lap, making sure everything's alright, making sure that car is alright, you get enough fuel, like the lights are on, making sure that your brakes are to temperature, your tires are to temperature. And this early phase is the single file phase. What happens is that drivers will be in single file. You'll see we have P1 to P10, and it's up to them to make sure that they are lined up behind each other, making sure that they are alright, making sure that everything they have prepared as much as possible. Some of them will weave, as you can see, to heat up the tires. Some will hold their brakes just to warm up their brakes, as well as heat up the tires at the same time. It's up
what
to
degree
how
is heating up your tires important in Assetto Corsa?
It's really important because your tires, as much as the tire blankets help, they can only heat up to a specific temperature, and your tires can only hold so much temperature. As you roll on the track is cold. A lot of your heat gets absorbed into the track. What happens is that your pressures drop. As your pressures drop, you lose grip, you lose traction, and that will be really important for you on your first lap. Because what happens is that once you don't have traction, you start to slide, you start to lose time, you start to be dangerous, and what happens is that you'll hit the wall. So that's why it's important to be cautious on lap 1, because your tires are not there yet, your temperatures are not there yet, you'll have a lot of factors against you, and this is what usually catches out inexperienced drivers, because they are not used to having cold tires. They're just used to hot lapping, where your tires are prepped for you, everything's prepped for you, and you just done it. This is certainly not the case here. It's really important to warm up the tires.
Alright, so just to give you all a recap on the starting grid. So basically, let's see the times here. So currently, Raiden Shogun is on pole position. He's going to be starting on at the front of the grid, followed by Amirul Naim in the Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo, and then of course followed by the Porsche of Mark Feldman. P4 is M Adib, P5 is M Azrin, so P6 F Herzog, P7 Dalvin Singh, P8 M Farhan in the Ferrari, Ferrari Farhan, I'm sorry, and then P9 the Porsche Farhan. So both Farhans are next to each other apparently. We're going to see some fun battles between them at some point. And of course, lastly, our newcomer for this league, Jordan Brunch in the McLaren 720S GT3 Evo. Right, so currently they're at the long back straight. You could call it the chase, I believe.
It is called
I thought that I know some of the corner names, but of course, correct me if I'm wrong.
You need the track map.
Yep.
I'll give it
You can
to
see
you.
the track map, but they don't give you like what corner names are there. So it'll be useful if ACC could give us
I'll send it to you.
corner names. Oh yeah, okay. Well, there you go. Anyway, so yeah, the chase is basically that right king, the high speed king, going into the chicane, and then last corner will be Murray's corner. Okay, and we shall get ahead. So everyone will be in double file formation, so they have to run 2 by 2 for each row basically. So one must not exceed the other, or else it will get a drive-through penalty for wrong position at the start. But yeah, at the moment, Raiden Shogun and Amirul Naim looks to be the favorites for this race. You might see some battles going on between them, and of course, at the moment, we shall go green for round 2 of MSRL ACC. Anyway, looking at them side by side,
And
it's
they're off.
turn 1. On the outside goes Amirul Naim. And onto the back straight, we shall see who has the better top speed between the two. As we can see, Adib going on the right side of Mark Feldman, but of course he's on the inside. He's going to be on the inside for turn 3, but Feldman trying to defend his place, going around the outside. But can he hold out? Oh, he's getting on the curbs, very close to the wall, and he lost P3. At the moment, they're coming up to the mountain section of the track, and so far everyone's gotten through safely for now. But of course, anything could happen here. It's a 1 hour and a half race, So still a very long way to go, and I think at the moment everyone is keeping keeping themselves in check, especially for the dipper sections. At the moment, M Farhan and both M Farhan, so Ferrari Farhan and Porsche Farhan, they're both very close to each other at the moment. And of course, going through the dipper, everyone seems to be making it through safely. Oh, Jordan Brunch almost hitting the wall on the inside.
That was really close.
At the bottom side of the dipper. So yeah, at the moment we are looking into Raiden Shogun probably. We're also looking to Florian Herzog. So he's currently in P6, going through the back straight for the chase at the bottom. The right king that I was talking about earlier. Oh, there's also a 5-second penalty for car number 193.
It's for Florian, 10-second penalty.
Yeah, 10-second penalty
What
for Florian Herzog.
That was from last week. Essentially, what happened is that we have a stewards decision last week, where there will be 10-second penalty applied to this driver for this round. So how MSRL applies their penalties is that we will have a stewards decision, and any sort of time penalty will be added to the next race, minus the last race. We will have a different format for the last race, but essentially what happens is that any sort of penalty you incur will affect yourself on the next race, because we feel
What happened to Florian?
Florian was the one that we took out the other driver in lap 1, if you remember, Suzuka. So that was the driver reported, that was the action that we taken. That was one of the incidents we had for this week. And yeah, this week it will be a very tall ask for them to lose 10 seconds in the pits. It's going to be a long penalty, but at the same time, we also have to think about the other driver that was involved as well. The other driver kind of lost a lot of time because of damage, because of a lot of factors. And it's only fair that, you know, we have to be strict in these kind of incidents to make sure that we discourage this kind of behavior where and I did lose it. Oh my god.
Yep, we have our first victim.
How will you recover?
Just at the crest of dipper. So yeah, this is gonna be very tricky for everyone to get through. But I think yeah, I think this is.
But it's a straight road.
Yeah, so let's see what happened with Adit. So what has happened here?
I think
All right,
we
could probably look at the onboard camera.
Oh my
Hit
god.
that curve up at Skyline. You should never hit that curve, especially in a GT3 car. And yeah, it looks like
tires off
everyone.
the ground.
Okay, so thankfully, he's at a very predictable spot, but may have blocked a bit of the racing line because you have to, because at the 7 News banner you have to take the left side because you're turning right up at the crest. It's a very blind corner, and yeah, it looks like Adip has quite a lot of work to do. He's gonna have to go back into the pits. For repairs, I believe this might be a minute or two worth of repairs.
It might be. I think it'll be a bit less. I think it'll be at most a 10-second repair. But you also have to remember they can't pit in now, because if they do, they have to pit in again. So I think what their smartest action would be is to bear with the damage that they have. You know, maybe 10 minutes, maybe until there's like 70 minutes remaining. Then go for the pits. That way you can also maximize as much time as you can in this time around, and you know, try to recoup as much as possible.
Delvin onto Jordan Brancho. They were so close to each other coming up to turn 3. So turn 2, as I would call it. So yeah, I was gonna say what we are not sure what happened with Delvin at the start. I believe he started behind Florian Herzog, but apparently he went so far down the grid, but actually not that far, but still at one point he was last prior to Adip losing it in the top of Skyline. So I'm not sure what happened with Dalvin. He might have had an off somewhere, but of course he must be a bit, I would say he must be a bit dissatisfied with probably how the car runs, because I believe Jordan, what happened there? All right, what happened here? I wonder. Okay, we're gonna take a replay of. We're gonna have to take a look at the replay of that. I believe this is one of the cases with you know.
This is the dipper.
Yep, the dipper. Just clip the inside.
Too
on the
aggressive
right
there.
side.
Gotta be
Yeah,
patient.
it's
Oh,
very-
and
oh.
there goes.
Oh, what just happened there? Oh, okay, we might have gone underworld for a second, but right now we're back on board with Jordan Brunch. Like I said, he's a newcomer in MSRL, but of course, not a good race for him so far. He might have tapped the wall a couple of times throughout this whole process, but of course, rule of thumb for Mount Panorama, you know, just keep yourself out of the walls.
And just
Easy.
be safe. Don't be aggressive. Don't be greedy. If you're greedy here, you're not going to be in any favors. What happens is that, as you can see just now, what happens is that they're a bit greedy on the throttle. They kind of pressed on just to make sure that they keep up with Delvin. And what happens is that they didn't realize that the wall was next to them, and they basically kicked the wall. This is a common mistake that we have, and it's what you need to look out for. It's where we weed out the differences between experienced drivers and non-experienced drivers. For experienced drivers, you will always be looking on the track instead of looking at what happens with the car in front of you. And I think that's important for newcomers to learn, is to make sure that you're not just referencing other drivers, because that is a very dangerous game to play. It's what happens when you outbrake yourself, where you do things that your car can't but their car can, and that's just overall just greed. And sometimes you pay the price. You see greed from maybe Adit, you know, clipping the curb and causing them to crash. You will see Jordan pushing it too hard and just slamming it into the wall. This is why Mount Panorama is important. It's so iconic. It's because it weeds out all the inexperience out of everyone. It's either you step up a game or you're just not going to survive here at all.
Exactly. So anyway, we're on board the rear wing of Azrin. So at the moment, Azrin is having a good run at the start so far. He's currently in P4. So yeah, he's I would say that's quite impressive for an AM driver at the moment. And of course, he is currently under pressure from Florian Herzog in P5. So what do you think? So how do you think the battle will pan out for this one? What do you think? Sorry, if you were Azrin, okay, if you were Azrin, if you were in his shoes, what would you do with this situation?
I personally will definitely make sure that I don't care about if he's going to be behind me or not. At the end of the day, Bathurst is a really, it's a really complicated and very narrow track. So I'll just keep my head down, focus what's in front of me instead of what's behind me. We know that Florian is a very experienced driver, so what that means is that so long as you position your car enough, tell them that you're not interested in fighting, Florian will gladly stay behind you, will be alright in following you through. And the important part is just to make sure you don't make any mistakes. If Florian's faster than you, you can try to defend, but we all know that the hill is not the place to overtake. And honestly, if they try to overtake, it's best to just let them by, because if they're that aggressive, you'll most likely end up with them crashing out, and you can just capitalize on it. That's what I would do as an experience. But at the end of the day, it's up to each driver to see how they perform here.
Right, anyway, as I was saying, I was actually looking at the timing screen and see Adib actually closing in with Jordan Brunch. I think Jordan may have some issues here and there, probably just trying to tackle the mountain as best as he can. But of course, he's currently being hounded by Adib, who, if you didn't know what happened to him, he basically crashed.
A little bit of damage, just a small amount.
Yeah, there's some small damage. You can see a bit of his headlight just blinking when he brakes. That tends to happen with damage.
Ooh.
Oh, Jordan! Oh no! He's binned it again at the tipper. Oh, so what has happened here? All right, so we shall go on board with. We should go on board with Jordan Brunch. See what happens. Oh, he just overcooked it.
Yeah, his technique through that is just not good. His technique there is a bit bad. So what we usually do is we'll make sure the car is set up properly, and we're back to here again. We're set up properly before we, punch on the throttle. So what that shows is that maybe Jordan's a bit too eager on the throttle. Maybe they are, sliding a bit when they put on throttle. It's important to make sure that your car is settled before you actually give it gas. If not, you'll end up spinning your tires, and no matter what car you drive, having not enough traction control as well as just traction control isn't your entire safety net. It's gonna give you a straight ticket into the wall, and I think Jordan needs to learn that as soon as possible. If not, he's just gonna lose out on a lot of time here as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Off that path.
I mean, I guess I guess we must have succeeded in commentators cursing him. But of course, okay, no, we of course we jokingly said that. It's not. I mean, we both.
We
said
can't say
in a
that about
joking
everyone we
way.
watch. People are gonna crash on this map.
I mean, okay. I don't want to wish harm to anyone, obviously, but you know, as much as I want to say I'm a man of watching chaos unfold, especially on a racetrack, yeah, we don't want to see anyone who we're focusing on gets bombarded with with all the haha funnies, basically on track. But yeah, so we're watching Azrin. It's actually just a second from Feldman. So do you think he could give Mark Feldman a bit of a hard time, just for that podium position? Because currently Mark Feldman is in P3.
I think if Azrin has learned his lesson on just keeping it clean and not being too aggressive, maybe if they are, adamant and they are consistent, they will definitely get the podium. We know that the Porsche struggles on tires over time. Although this is not much of a tire degradation track, it is still important to be safe up the mountain, and the Porsche might just lose out as the tires go on the set of tires.
Oh yeah, we definitely have talked a bit about the Porsche's characteristics in the previous race. But of course, TLDR, Porsche rear tire just goes.
Very slidey, very dangerous.
It's very slidey. I mean, there's a reason why it's called the Widowmaker of the GT3s in ACC at least. But
It's called
yeah,
the what?
The Widowmaker.
it's
Because-
Widowmaker.
Because you just die in this thing. It's better in the 992, which is the current generation Porsches, but in the old Porsches,
It's a terrible name for a car,
Yeah,
for a
because it
brand
had-
to be associated with.
it is very because it has a very big reputation of, if you're not trying to kill yourself in the car, you're not driving it right, and that is true because the car is really deadly, especially the old generation. It has
It really is just that quick.
It is extremely quick. It is extremely deadly. It's quick because of the way it darts around like a mini go-kart, and to drive fast, you have to make it on the edge. And if you're not on the edge, you're not driving it fast. And if you're not driving it fast, you're not deadly. And if you're not deadly, you might as well just pick another car because it's that way. But for us, in the 992, it's definitely much easier. It's definitely more stable. It's actually my choice this season, but it still has its characteristics, as you see. Farhan sliding
Still drive it in that same
the
way.
sliding that Porsche, yeah.
It drives fastest that way, so it's just part of how the car drives. It's really deadly, but you have to make sure it's deadly in order to get any sort of pace.
Indeed. So yeah, as we're looking onto the P Farhan, and yeah, at the moment we're looking at M Azrin. At the moment he's closing the gap into to P3. So yeah, we may see some battles going on up ahead, but of course, how it unfolds, we may never know. But yeah, going up to the chase, onto the chicane,
that's
up
another
down
word.
inside, very aggressive. But of course, Mark Feldman just holds his ground.
You're just not allowed.
Wow, just slams the door shut on the last minute. But yeah, well done to Mark Feldman. So this is gonna turn out into a very interesting battle. So
It's a good thing
currently
that he didn't close the door
battle
shut, or
for
both will have very good
P4.
incidents right now.
we have a minor offer
Oh
here
my God.
actually. So Jordan Brunch, I don't know what happened to him. We can probably see the replay. I think this may be at turn 2. So
Has it ever happened
the moment,
where-
yeah. Oh, he
Whoa.
just outbraked himself. That's a hard slap.
All by himself out there.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what happened there. May have probably been a bit distracted somewhat. And, I think I'm starting to think that we have a recurring theme here. Whenever we watch Jordan Brunch, probably because he's on the other side of the world. Yeah, we're literally, it's literally down under that side. But yeah.
That
Okay,
curve
was
on
such
the
a cooking
dipper is
joke. I'm
basically
sorry
a
about
long
that.
gun.
But anyway, we're currently watching the battle for P3 at the moment. I believe all the P3 to P5, they are actually within 2 seconds. So yeah, this is gonna turn out into a very interesting battle.
Any small
Say the least.
mistakes is gonna make
Oh,
either driver capitalize. Oh my
okay.
God!
Oh, that was a bit of a lag moment earlier, but I believe that Mark is actually struggling onto the S's, the downhill S's of the track. So I think if Hazrin can keep it together throughout the whole section, he may actually get an advantage by the time he gets to the straight.
I think Feldman is
believe,
feeling the
like-
pressure.
Yeah, I believe like the McLaren as well, having one of the better top speeds compared to the Porsche.
Yeah, just to give you a recap on the top speed, the McLaren actually is the second highest, with Delvin's Ferrari at 284 kilometers per hour top speed. The McLaren is on par
Oh.
with the Mercedes.
Okay.
Oh, they are close at 281 kilometers per hour. As well as the McLaren of Shogun is running a bit more high downforce at 280. But Feldman's Porsche only maxes out at 278, a few kilometers behind. Might
You
feel
can
like
see the Porsche just take away during the straights. Just
Yes.
wants to get away from the car behind
the
it.
Porsche is amazing at accelerations, but what it lacks is at the top speed at the very end. You'll see it accelerate at the very initial corners, at the very initial parts of the straight. But then you'll see the McLaren just chasing up as soon as possible at the very end. This gets really frustrating for drivers because you just never win because the Porsche will just out accelerate you through every corner.
Yeah, you're just holding it down,
Mhm.
and nothing happens.
Yeah, but
Is it particularly physically strenuous to hold it down for long stretches?
sorry.
Is
You-
it particularly physically strenuous? Like for example, in a car, you have to actually hold down the physical pedal.
Yeah, but I think it comes down to what pedals that you're using, and also just the general muscle memory, and also your muscle structures. For me, my pedals are a bit stiff, slightly stiffer than usual. So when I first got my pedal sets, actually my knees felt a bit strenuous from pressing down the throttles a bit too much. But over time, you start to learn, you start to gain muscle through it, you start to develop, endurance to it. And over time, it just feels like it's nothing. Actually, what is the most hard thing to learn when you're racing is throttle discipline. You actually do not want to be on the throttle all the time, every time. So it's learning how to modulate yourself between 100% and 0 to 100%, like 20% throttle, 50% throttle. That's where people are struggling.
Right.
And-
So yeah, we're still watching the battle for P3 unfolding. I think at the moment, I was gonna say that Herzog in P5 he was actually under a second from Asrin, but I think like he's just hanging in within like a second of the cars ahead of him. But I think like he may have made a mistake because his gap suddenly jumped from 1 second to like 2.8. He lost quite a number of time.
His
Oh,
tires
it
are going out.
slid quite a bit, so I think like is Herzog having an issue by any chance?
It might be just them overcooking the tires a bit. It might be just a bit too hot. I got a feeling
Yeah,
that
because like the
uh,
rears, we could hear it like squirming a lot.
yeah, they might be a bit too greedy on throttle. This
Yeah.
usually comes down to setup, maybe just them being a bit stubborn and not running a lot of TC. But I think the best course of action for Herzog is to, make sure that they can survive this, can up TC, preserve the tires, and make sure that they can survive as much as possible. Because having to slide every corner, that's not going to be good for you in the long run. As we see Adib coming in for their pit stop, it is on the 70-minute mark. The car will survive here at full fuel, so it's important for Adib to pit now, get their repairs completed, and recoup as much time as possible. They might not be able to catch up to the rest of the field, but at least complete this race, get some points in. Use this as a drop round, use this as an insurance in case they cannot join other races, and just learn from this. And I think they'll be fine here. As you
Yeah.
see-
Anyway, Adib and Feldman are still very close to each other. Now they are 5/10. Okay, 5/10 between 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, somewhere around there. But of course, we are gonna take a look at the rear bumper, rear wing of Feldman. So the Filipino driver is
These liveries.
yeah, he's he's from the Philippines. Yeah, the livery is looking quite nice actually. And yeah, knowing Mark Felton, he's actually a really good driver, I would say. I believe like he's always on the top midfield of the current grid at the moment. But of course, as he made a bit of a mistake, there the devil-faced McLaren just goes down the inside. Oh, Feldman just wants to defend the position. that he's currently in. But of course, they're side by side onto the start of the straight, onto turn 1. Azrin has the inside. He's up to P3. Oh, they both touched.
Squeeze them
They
out
both
wide.
touched the portions of the track a bit. Oh, that might need that might be a bit of a steward's inquiry over that, but we shall see. This is probably hard racing, but of course, if one party is not satisfied over the other, they can always make a steward's play.
I'm just crossing a finger that doesn't come here because it's going to be a pain for me to actually do that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, the stewards are going to have a massive field day at this rate. But of course, it's Mount Panorama we're talking about, so, these are, I would say, bound to happen. But yeah, the battle's not over yet. Azrin's up to P3, but of course, he's being hounded by Mount Feldman. I believe, Feldman's faster.
It's like a ghost of Christmas past.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like it's like that yellow beetle thing. It's like you don't overtake. You don't overtake it, or else it will just haunt you over and over again.
The very famous. Oh, Velman. Oh, no.
Oh, it's just haunting, not the haunting. Oh no, that's gonna be a very bad spot.
Stay there.
That's gonna be a very bad spot.
What have you done?
Oh, alright. So that has happened. Yeah, he just overcooked it
curve.
over the curbs.
No challenge, no
tough luck
reason,
for
just
Mark
simple
Feldman.
self-mistake.
He would not be happy about that. For
I
sure.
really feel for him over this one.
I hate that he wasn't pressured into the decision either. It just happened to.
Yeah, that's the thing about following people down Bathurst. If you are very bloodlust about this, you'll just follow the car as close as possible, and that's the problem as well in Bathurst. If you're following someone, you don't see your markers at all. All your markers are on the road. What happens is that you're gonna turn in a bit too early than you're used to, and then what happens is that you're gonna clip a curb wrong, you're gonna brush the wall, and you're just gonna end your entire race. It's important to make sure that you are very familiar with your rhythm here and not be too affected by the driver in front, because if you do that, you're gonna end up in the wall, and you see it time and time again when you're following someone here. You just need to be consistent, if not you are dead. And unfortunately, the Bathurst has claimed another driver. We had Edit in the wall, we had Jordan in the wall, and now we have Feldman in the wall. It seems
so that makes it 3 drivers out of 10. Wow.
Yeah, but it seems like Zanoob says that Delvin went wide into the wall at the last turn on that one, so we have a fourth claim. But we're not. But I'd say that's not much of a true claim because Delvin went into the wall at the bottom, not on the top. So
I mean, any wall in Bathurst is still counts as an excursion, one way or the other. I mean, of course, the top part of the mountain is very notorious for,
Did the
flaming
leaders
drivers.
go for breakfast? What does he mean? Why is he saying that?
because we
I
have
think I
not
know what-
been, I think because we have not been covering the leaders at all. This is the thing. Because if you have not noticed, Raiden actually is 9 seconds in front of Nayan.
It's just
Yeah,
like-
9 seconds in front of 9.
I wonder
so
where
at
he
the
is.
moment,
I wonder what's
they're
happening.
Okay, so we shall see the fastest lap at the moment. Shogun is currently the only one in the sub 202s. So
Yeah,
he's currently on the 201.8, and followed by Nae is fastest of the current lap time so far is 202.6. So at the moment, these two drivers are at their own class essentially. So Naim at the moment, he is the only one on the 202s. The others are doing a 203s. I believe all the other drivers are doing a 203s at the same time. But yeah, at the moment, the times, I think the tire wear started to kick in, and yeah, some of the drivers are running 203s on their last lap. So I think P2 to P4. So Naim, Azrin, and Herzog, and actually Farhan, the Ferrari Farhan. All 4 of them are running 203s.
You can really see
during the
personified
last
what
lap.
what you guys were talking about, because all the way in the front is just peace, serenity. It's a calm afternoon drive, but over the back, one position away, it's nothing but drama in World War III.
Yeah, Shogun is just running his own race at the moment.
It's almost bad television. It's like Raiden is almost boring to look at as he just races consistently and calmly.
I mean, we could feature him.
No,
sometime.
But that's the idea. That's the idea. Is that
Yeah, I mean, one
all
way
the
or
way
the
in
other, we still have like 1 hour to go, 1 hour and 4 minutes to go actually, and Shogun's actually been handling this race in in his best form so far.
26 minutes in, it's true.
Yeah, I think the thing is also that Raiden's a very experienced driver. They don't just compete here; they compete in a lot of stuff. They do go into real life events. They do race in LAN events. They do qualify for other series as well. And honestly, Radiance is just a very experienced driver. They are very experienced in the real world. They do things outside of this league as well, and that is basically what's paying off here. Making sure,
exactly.
Being consistent, being very experienced.
He's just soaking in the view. He's
just being here, representing his team, and just overall being good. And I think
a bit of a showman kind of move on the.
To be fair, he isn't driving that slowly. He really is actually trying to take every moment that he can. And push.
He is pushing very close to the 01s in the 2023s at the last lap. And I think it's just that in this league at least, he doesn't have much of a competition. I'm not there, I'm not driving. I think I am close to his pace, but who knows if I'm going to survive this. I might be as close to Naim. I'm not actually driven here in Porsche, I should. But unfortunately, for us, at least in this very small league, we do not have the competition yet. And if any of the viewers would like to give Raiden a run for their money, why not join us? The link's in the description.
To be fair, in the previous race, someone did. The upset with down power was quite a thing.
Yeah, I think
so. It's still possible. It's not that it's not like this person's just written off the rest of the race.
Yeah, definitely. I think also doesn't help that Bathurst is actually a new track for a lot of drivers. Bathurst is not featured in a lot of race series. It's not featured in F1. It's not featured in some of the sims like in Assetto Corsa. Not featured in
this
titles.
My god! Something happened to Naim.
Even as I say,
driver, what has happened here? Just hits the wall on the outside there, on the right side, and
one more time, two more times.
Skyline
proceeds to go forward.
Yes, Skyline claims another victim. Right, so that makes it 5 drivers. So half of the grid has already experienced the wrath of Bathurst.
And this is why we say that you gotta be consistent. And it really comes down to there's no error. You cannot do a single error here. And it's unfortunately, the downside of it. If you're not experienced here enough, you're gonna hit the curb. And those that survive it, like Raiden, will just increase their gap on.
Yep. So I would say that Naim has lost quite a lot of time. Actually, like 7 to 8 seconds. Time he lost just from that incident alone. I mean, which isn't much to say in terms of where the crash happened. But of course, any crash, if you make a mistake, it will cost you a lot of time.
Not to mention you have repairs. Repairs
as well. Actually, both Jordan and Naim in the pits. Actually, I'm not sure what happened to Jordan.
Jordan might just be tired.
Yeah, might actually could be, but I'm not sure like if he's still within the running of the race or he may as well be just chilling on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Oh, we still see him up there.
Yeah, so I think like he may have just retired from the race. I'm not sure. But yeah, not a good start to Jordan's debut on MSRL, but it's okay. We still have a long way to go in the calendar. So I believe like next round is what's next round again?
I'm gonna have to check for you because even I forgot.
Wow. Well, we all have a memory of a goldfish. Okay,
listen,
do bear with us.
Next round we are at Kyalami.
Kyalami. Okay, Kyalami is actually one of my favorite tracks nowadays. So yeah, it's actually like it's quite a wide track. It's like a bit of a contrast over Bathurst.
Wait, am I delusional? Has Florian been in third this whole time?
No, I think it's because Naim had an incident earlier, and Herzog is behind Naim.
There's
been an incident for Farhan. I believe we should check the replay for this one. All right, riding on the passenger. Okay, riding on board with. Just overcooks it. Just goes into the wall. just like that.
Barely
All
saved
right.
it.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine
So
the
that makes
meme
it
where you can hear the
6.
ride along. You can hear
So
the
that's-
ride along just screaming at Farhan the entire time. Farhan, stop! Farhan, stop!
Code Brown! Code Brown! No!
Oh yeah, that's exactly Code Brown right there. Oh, anyway, yeah, Dalvin makes up another position from Porsche Farhan, and he's up to P5. Actually, yeah, he's up to P5 right now. All right, well done to Dalvin, but I think he still has quite a long way to go. At the moment, the next car will be okay. The timing has a bit of a bug right now, but yeah, he's currently at 8 seconds behind Ferrari Farhan. So he has his other Ferrari compatriot up in P4, but I'm not sure like if he's gonna catch up quite a lot to the other Ferrari in P4.
I
I
think
think
there's plenty
so.
of time for someone else to make another mistake.
And I think if you see the standings right now, you'll notice that the top 3 have not made a single mistake. Logan has not made a single mistake. Azrin has not made a single mistake. Herzog has not made a single mistake, besides the 10-second penalty he got from last race. Farhan has not made a mistake, if I remember correctly.
Well, they're only top 3 because they haven't made a mistake so far.
Yes, and I think it's important to know that that is what makes Bathurst Bathurst. If you can get your track position, if you can survive, you're basically set. You know, any sort of errors here means that you're gonna get damage. When you get damage, you're gonna have to repair, and that's gonna just push you all the way back down.
Right, so going back for a bit, Mark Feldman is currently making up some positions. At the moment, he's at the back of Porsche Farhan again. So I'm not sure what was happening with Porsche Farhan. He may have made something. Oh, Dalvin! Oh no!
Oh my God, Dalvin!
Dalvin has made another mistake. Oh, we shall have a look at that one. All right, this may be a bit of a longer replay, but it's all right. Anyway, riding on board with actually no, not riding on board. We're just gonna go TV camera for this one. All right, what has happened with our championship contender at the moment? So let's see, down to the
that's a
dipper section.
slide. That's
Oh,
another
just
slide.
slides on the rear. Oh, okay. Thankfully, that wasn't as bad as we thought it would be, but of course, he's on the other side of the track, so you may have to watch out for any cars that are gonna come around. So that
much damage,
already
though?
undid.
I think he's gonna have minor damage. You might feel a bit of understeer on the front, but if he wants to, he can definitely repair. I personally will repair just to reap as much time as possible. He still has a pit stop to
It
do.
just means you can push a little longer.
Yeah,
No,
he
he's
can
going it
go.
right now. I think it's a smart idea to get your repairs done as soon as possible. Get everything sorted out so they can have a fresh car, fresh tires, everything set for the race. But it's gonna give him a penalty. He's gonna have to be in the pit box a bit longer just to make sure everything's all right. And I think we might see him climb back up again, but it's gonna be a long stretch. You have Feldman to fight for, you have Farhan to fight for, and you might have Foreign visiting him because of the 10-second penalty that Foreign has. I think Foreign's gonna try to capitalize that as much as possible, get as much of a gap as he can before coming in for the 10-second.
In the real world, I can't imagine that they'll be sitting around hammering around your bumper while you try to.
Oh no,
try to get ready. Do they just replace the whole goddamn thing?
Depends on how serious the damage is. Some just use duct tape. Duct tape smooths out as much
Oh
as
my
possible.
god!
Oh my God, Farhan,
Oh
what
my
are you
God.
doing?
Farhan! Oh, better watch
Wait,
out there. Oh my
he's
God.
defending. He's still alive.
Not
Yeah,
for long,
oh,
his tires
there
will
he
go.
goes.
And he's
No,
pocket.
he doesn't. He can't.
Okay, that's well, that's worthy of a meme video right there, but
That is a clip and a half.
oh, definitely.
Produced by
Alright,
Robert
so
B. White.
Porsche Farhan just, I'm not sure, he might have blocked his rear brakes probably.
Definitely
and,
lost his rear
just get it
brakes. He
over.
might have been pushing it too hard. The thing
Yeah.
about Assetto Corsa is once you're on the gravel, your tire is going to be chock full of stone, and that's going to lose out on your grip significantly. So, coming out into a very gravelly area, and Farhan just being a bit greedy, trying to push as much as possible, kind of cost them the position because the tires are just not ready for it. Snow decided to retire his car on safety grounds. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. We're still happy to have you here, and we can still have next round. We still have lots of rounds to go. We can still improve over the season.
It's all right. You
Yeah.
know, you could say, okay, we'd like to officially apologize for probably commentators cursing you at one point, but of course, it's okay.
It's never the
It's
commentator's fault.
Bathurst we're talking about a lot of. It's literally like one of the hardest tracks in the game, so it's all right. It's all
Oh,
right.
yeah? Commentators curse.
Yeah,
Try
you
watching
can-
Raiden Shogun for the entire match. See if we can commentating curse that.
Oh no. Please
Oh,
don't.
There's no way.
They will
There's
be
no
really
way.
angry if that's happened.
So what? Do we want to focus on them and just say, oh, he's doing really really
No,
well?
I'm saying there's no such thing. I'm saying there's no such thing.
Well, let's try it out, shall we?
All right. So
The next
currently he's on the straight.
54
going
minutes
through
and 7 seconds. We're gonna be watching
Yeah,
nothing but
23.7 seconds. Yeah,
if he makes a
definitely.
single mistake, then I'm wrong, and we all feel bad.
Okay.
Mhm. All right. So at the moment, something has happened with Mark
see?
Feldman. Oh,
Oh
he
my God,
has,
Feldman.
Wait,
he has
I've
fallen
instantly
again.
proven
What
right.
has happened here? Oh, wait.
They
did he
might have hit the wall.
there?
They might have hit the wall. Oh, yep, they pushed it too
Oh
hard.
yeah!
and
Oh,
goes
there
the
he
wall.
goes! Oh my
Oh.
goodness, that was a very big hit.
That is
Okay,
a
that was a
very
really
big
very big hit.
Y'all need to
So-
stop being so greedy. God
What
damn
does it
it.
mean to split the replay?
That's for me. Basically, what happens is that the replay only goes for an hour and 15 minutes. So what happens is that I have to manually save the replay. Oh my God, Farhan, what are you doing? He just hit Feldman in the back. Oh, that's not good.
Okay, we can see the replay for this one. All right, what has happened here? Oh my goodness, but Porsche's not gonna be happy if they were actually racing in real life this one.
Oh my
yeah.
God. Oh, survived it.
no,
No,
Survived
it's
it.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everyone's
Oh,
fine.
yeah, well done. Well
Hey.
done, Farah.
That's
Yeah.
threading a needle.
Yeah, exactly. My goodness. Anyway, with all that considered, we are actually still under an hour to go for the race. So yeah, the spirit of MSRL, with all the chaos and carnage that's happened so far, you know, still hasn't died down in Bathurst. But then again, I mean, it's Bathurst we're talking about.
If it dies down in Bathurst, that's either you're in the Pro League or you're in the Pro League.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So
Yeah,
anyway,
I
I'd like to
think-
point out in
I think
chat-
let's go back to previously because we were talking about interesting point about repairing. Actually, in real life, right, it depends on what is being repaired. You might have seen famous clips of like race car, some NASCAR drivers. What NASCAR team do is that they hammer the car to repair stuff. That is possible, and I think Feldman's in to repair or retire. We don't know, but
he's gonna repair most likely. I
Likely,
think
yeah.
like you can imagine like pit crews around here just like trying to hammer the car down.
yeah, hammer the
if
car
there's a
down.
dent.
What they can replace, they will replace. So usually bumpers, if they can, they might replace it. But usually what they do is that they'll take a very big blanket of duct tape and just tape across the entire car. This helps to make sure that the bumper stays in place. They make sure that what do you call it?
Oh my
They make sure that
God.
nothing flaps around. They make sure that the
They're
iron
really just looking for. They're really just looking to patchwork it.
yeah, because patchwork will be the fastest way possible. Because if you're going to replace it, it's going to take some time. You're going to take tools. You're going to take people. Well, as duct tape, you could just stick it on. You know, stick multiple layers, be as stiff as possible, and just send it out. It might be not as fast, but you know, at least you still have a working car. You can still finish the race. And for most, it's important that they finish the race because sponsors like their cars on track, good or bad, because you know people take pictures. That's why they have prominent logos, and you know it's important for them to be on track. It's also good for
By
the
duct
sports.
tape, I assume we don't mean just regular goddamn duct tape.
No,
I
it's
assume
regular duct
actual-
tape. It's regular duct tape.
Wait, they must have like special duct tape that they have for this thing. Like they have tape for the goddamn boat for the thing where like you've got a seal on the boat. Like you can't. There has to be special tape.
Like it can be duct tape, it can be flex tape, whatever holds the car in place. So they can do multiple layers, they can do
my
multiple wraps. It's long as whatever makes it work. The thing about racing is to make anything as cost effective as possible, and duct tape is just one of them. It could be high grade duct tape, it could be aircraft grade duct tape, but what's the point of paying so much money on aircraft grade duct tape when normal duct tape works? Maybe
I think
you want
about-
maybe slightly higher, maybe you might use flex tape because flex tape is now a thing, but at the end of the day, it's still a sort of adhesive tape that they just hold the things in place. Oh, there
Yeah,
goes Delvin hitting the wall again.
Yeah, I'd like to point out. Okay, first of all, I'd like to point out that actually next round, some people in the chat have been telling us that Imola is round 4. Wait, no. Oh no, Imola. Oh, people thought it
No.
was Imola. Sorry.
Yes, Imola
So
is
next
round
round it's
4.
actually
Next round
Kailami,
is
yeah?
Kailami.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Even happens to the best of us. We get confused. Anyway, yeah, and also I'd like to point out about the duct tape thingy. Okay, we're gonna turn this into a bit of a podcast. So I had some experience with the duct tape shenanigans. I think I'd like to point out that probably it is high grade or aircraft grade duct tape because I was in the camp where any duct tape would be effective and all. And this one actually goes back like a few months ago. So I had an issue with my bike's kickstand where it would keep coming down, especially when I ride. So I could not lean to the left. So basically, my kickstand would be on the left side, the one that makes your bike lean over to the left like that. Yeah, I had issues with that. So I think apparently the spring broke off, and the spring that holds the kickstand in place is already gone, and the kickstand keeps coming down, and I cannot lean as much as I want to. I have to like be straight. It's like you cannot turn left just because of that hanging bit, or else you'd probably crash quite hard. So yeah, I was in the. I actually thought that just by duct taping the kickstand on the, I would say on one of the bike's support points. Let's just say that I did just that, and not even a kilometer or a mile on, the duct tape broke off.
Oh, here's the
because
problem.
I hit a bump.
Here's the problem. How many layers did you put on?
I think I put on like 3 or 4 layers of it.
That's not enough for cars.
No, we're not talking about cars. It's like bikes. It's
Yeah,
just a
but still.
kickstand.
It's still the vibration and stuff. Usually when we do it, we like kind of wrap everything around. We kind of do it multiple rolls. And we can't
So
make
are
sure
you
that-
implying I should have used the whole roll
Yes.
of duct tape? Okay.
when in doubt,
Okay.
duct tape.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so that's probably my bad because like, I even a small bump it just tore off.
Yeah.
And
How many layers
like,
are we talking
oh.
here?
Oh no, I was talking about my experience with.
Oh no, I
He-
said like how many layers should he have done?
Yes.
I think it's more technical, honestly. It's just making sure that you wrap it around 4 or 5 times
but like just
a row.
but just like assume that like it's just a really dumb like assume you're guiding someone over the phone, right? And he just described exactly that thing to you. How many times would you tell him to go around the damn thing?
Well, here's the thing as well. Don't you want to use your kickstand cycle?
Huh?
Wouldn't you
Hard
want-
pass, bro. All I want to do is get past it. Get
No,
through
no,
this
no.
thing.
The kickstand. No. Here's the thing. The kickstand, like usually there's a spring that.
I know
keeps it
that
up, right?
it's supposed to flip up and down, but
Uh.
my thought is if Cycle's gonna duct tape it up, it's gonna hold it there permanently. Don't you need to use it?
No, yeah, I have another kickstand, the one that's
Huh?
lifting the bike up. No,
Oh,
If,
yes,
you,
yes,
if you
yes,
ride
yes.
a moped,
Yes,
there's like
yes,
2
I get it now.
kickstands.
So
The one
Oh,
that
there's
goes-
two
the
of
one that
them,
leads to the left,
right?
and the other one is basically the other one is the one that
The fast
you,
one.
you have to climb-ish. It's like you have to put more force into lifting it because
Yes.
you're lifting the whole bike. This one you just put a kickstand and it just leads to the left. And
for
that's
that,
it.
if you want to
Beat on it.
permanently disable it, I'll put a lot of tension. I'll just wrap it, 4 to 5 times. And
No, it's
wrap
okay.
it multiple times, that's
The
why.
issue's already been resolved. It was a long time ago anyway.
Ooh.
But yeah. Actually,
Oh,
as
an
we
overtake?
speak, Azrin has already come into the pits and he has served his mandatory pit stop. So he comes out in P4 according to the title sheet. So
Yeah,
at the
Feldman's in
moment,
front, but if you notice, he's getting waved the blue flag. What that means is Feldman is slower. But in reality, Feldman's not slower. Is he now? Feldman's actually on
he's
pace
just
with
one
Azrin.
lap down. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's up to Azrin and Feldman to negotiate if they want to let them by. Personally, if we see that if Feldman does not gap himself, it's very important that he just stays where he is. But if Azrin thinks that he's quicker, and when he closes up to Feldman, it's important for Feldman to let them by, because at the end of the day, there is still a blue flag to respect. You might not be shown to get out of the way as soon as possible, but I think it's important for them to know that they should get out of the way as soon as possible, just so that they don't get impeded as well.
Right.
Given that this is
Anyway,
such a,
as
given that
you
you've been talking
right.
about how cautious you have to be around this map, how much of how much would you say ego plays a part in being able to like defend against people behind you?
Yeah, ego plays a very hard role.
Yeah.
What you call it? It's sometimes we all get caught up, when you're in back of the pack because of incidents that may or may not be you, and you see cars that are at your pace right next to you. You just get angry because it's like, I could have been here, but why am I back here? And I think it's important for drivers in that situation to reflect as well and say, you know what, my race is done. Don't
Look at
affect other
go.
people's race and just let them go and just follow them. Why not, right? You need to stress out of you as well as just get by as soon as possible. I didn't realize that this was an overtake Farhan on 9M.
Yeah,
9M on Farhan, not bad.
it's a bit strange because like
They did not just let him
thought
by.
that Ferrari Farhan is gonna go and at least defend his place because this is still overall position. But of course, I think Farhan may have thought better of it, and of course, even he's in AM class still, he may have probably thought that it's a pro class behind me, just take it easy. It's batters we're talking about, and yeah.
I think one
So-
thing that you might notice is that for drivers like Farhan, the other Farhan, is that they might let them by. This is kind of depends on the mindset that you have in this season.
Because we were just talking about ego.
Yes, and also depending on which standing that you're actually going for, because right now we have two standings. We have the overall standing and the AM standing, and it's up to you in terms of what goals you want to set for yourself, as well as you knowing your capabilities and your competitors. You can defend for it. He has the right for it, but do you want to risk getting pressured by someone that's not in your class just for an overall position, or you want to just let them by and focus on your own race? Because at this point, Farhan is P2 in AM class. By the fact that there's not much AM drivers here, but do you want to get pressured just to crash out and get third, or do you want to stay second? I'd say Farhan was being very good at just letting them by and just stay second.
What's a big kuning?
Sorry. Oh.
I think I know what it is. It's a shopping platform. So we sell items. Yeah, we sell coaching classes. Cough, cough. Nah, of course not. But yeah, I mean, if anyone likes any one of us to make like a coaching class for ACC or for racing in general, I guess it could probably be a suggestion.
State your rate. Put down your rates right now. Type down your rates into chat right now.
I don't have rates, but someone has paid me $20 US just for data analysis.
I haven't,
USD.
I was gonna say I still have an ongoing commission from Raiden, cough cough.
Yeah,
So,
man. I don't mean to
would you
brag.
believe me if I said that the leader of the race at the moment is actually commissioned me to make a Raiden Shogun from Genshin, pretty much. He asked me to make an Natasha of it because he knows that I make like quite a number of liveries and all. So he thought,
Yeah.
you know what, I'll just get a livery. This has been going on for like actually since last year. I haven't actually started it since like up until like a few weeks ago.
You should
At the
stop
moment,
working
I'm
on
still-
it, buddy.
No, I mean like he said take your time. He just said take your time with it, and it just I'll be ready. to
Yeah,
pay
man.
you.
I don't mean to brag, but I made like 22 USD from Twitch last month.
It's not really from Twitch. I was basically helping out Elite Mate. Essentially, what
I
happened?
was trying to
$89.
compete. I was trying to compete.
Nah, just kidding.
I didn't realize. I thought you were talking about my numbers because I was talking about $20 US. But
Yep.
I think
Right.
it's important for what you call it. Oh yeah, Tina is. You want to talk about the race? I think let's go back to the race.
Okay, so at the moment we are currently having a bit of a battle between Porsche Farhan and Adib. So Adib earlier he was actually on top of the midfield, but up until he went to Skyline and just hit the curb too hard on the inside and just spit his car out. And
Never since.
yeah, at the moment he is still trying to climb up quite a number of positions at the moment, but of course next car, the Ferrari Farhan, in front of the P5, he's actually 26 seconds, almost 27 seconds up the field. So it's probably going to be a make or break for Adib. We might not be much for position. I would say, oh no!
Oh my God,
No,
Even as we say it,
Yeah, see, I think, okay, I'm starting to think that the commentator's curse is actually real in this.
There's no such thing. You were just saying. Someone in chat was just saying to take your time. There's no such thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, no such, no such thing as taking time in chat. Okay, so at the moment, yeah, I think like Porsche Farhan's made another mistake. He's currently being hounded by Calvin.
Send it.
Again,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
Dalvin's
Dalvin's gonna
blood in
send
the
it over
water.
in like the chase.
Yeah.
Okay, we shall see here. Is anyone?
Move aside.
Oh my God, Dalvin, what are you doing?
No,
He can't
Calvin
do
goes
it.
to the ground with the chase.
He's saying
Oh.
F1, Dalvin.
I was just saying that he was gonna ego him. He was gonna like
Oh,
think that you
yeah,
got damaged. Just
exactly.
give it over, but he can't.
Oh, Dalvin. Okay, here's the thing. I actually was quite surprised that Dalvin is currently driving like this. Probably because, like, from what I heard, he's been having quite a hard time with this car around this track. But yeah, like this is kind of like un-Dalvin-like because I've been racing with him since MSRL was was first a thing. And I'd say that at the beginning he's probably still warming up to the game. He was back in F1, but yeah, I believe like probably this is influenced a bit by because he drives a lot in F1 and ACC. I mean, he still does ACC. He's actually quite fast, but of course I would say that since both games they have very different dynamics to them. Like one being a very easy flat out car, and of course Adib. What has happened to Adib?
What in the wall
we shall
he goes?
see. Okay, we shall see from the TV camera. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna hit the wall somewhere
Yep,
around
and
here.
he's gone. And he's gone.
His tires
Just
failed.
losing the rear
And he's gone.
up on that hill.
Poor guy.
All right. What is going on? So we are currently already like past midway of the race. And yeah, still we have a plethora of incidents all
think-
around the track.
You think drivers will learn to just stay away?
Oh yeah, I think like I mean, if anything, we're talking about racing drivers here. I mean, even you and me as well. We both know that we're gonna we all have to push it as hard as we can. It's just a matter of you realizing it or not.
I
So-
can confidently say that I have not crashed in Bathurst in a race ever in the last
Right,
two times
that-
I raced here.
All right, someone commentator cursed this guy right here.
It's all about
but
finding your
okay.
own limits. Understand that you should not be pushing past your fastest time, even though it's enticing. When you already are practicing, you already know what your pace is, and it's important for us to know to not push it too hard. And this is the consequences when you push it too hard.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, Adib into the pits. So I think it's a really bad day at the office for him. He was really doing well at the beginning, but I think ever since that crash in the skyline section
What
of
is
the track,
the
the top of the
Christ?
mountain, I think probably his confidence may have gone down since. I'm not sure, or probably like newbie said, just you have to learn from all the mistakes.
Yeah, I
you know?
gotta learn. Unfortunately,
definitely.
especially when you're already in the down position, you like to push the game back time, and that's when greed starts to happen. That's when you lose focus. It doesn't help that it is a 90-minute race. Usually, by this time, you're already at the end of the race. You're close to 60 minutes in, and you'll be ready to hang your head up and be like, it's done. We're done for the night. But guys, we still have 35 minutes remaining. It is a 75-minute race, so it's important for drivers to realize that there's still more instead of just pushing it to the very limits. And this is what happens. It's like
Prius.
a lot of us just forgetting that it's a long race and just pushing it to the very limit.
Mm-hmm.
Prius,
All
eh?
right, so I'd like to say also that
Justice for Prius.
this is a bit of a fun fact. I believe that everyone except two or three drivers have crashed in Bathurst at least once.
Yes,
during
the
the
top
race.
three have not crashed a single time.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So all three of them are reaping the rewards of for the race at the moment.
And Herzog has served the 10-second penalty. That means that Herzog is solidly in third.
Interesting. But of course, he's gonna be under pressure from Naim. Who
Yes.
Actually, he was in P2 earlier, if you all didn't know, and apparently, let's just say he made a bit of an off probably at Skyline, and of course that costed him like P2 in the race, and yeah, and actually as we speak, P2 is actually an AM driver. So Azrin is doing a really good job driving the McLaren, to its limits, but just enough limits around the stretches of Bathurst.
I think now might be a good time to flash the fact that you're doing a Saga race again real quick, given that chat wants to talk about a Prius.
Yes. Anyway,
Just
if,
real
Chad,
quick.
if you're talking about a Prius, okay, screw the hybrids. We're gonna go old school. All right, give it a go. Okay, while we're at it, all right, we're gonna go and
30-second pitch
show
go.
you all the description.
Justice!
Okay, an overview of the upcoming Saga Taxi race. Okay, the taxi is the white and red colored car on the right side. So that's the taxi. You all are going to be racing in there. All right, it's a fun little car. It may
What's the
not be
European equivalent of a Saga?
European equivalent of Saga. It's the first gen Lancer actually. I think it's a first gen Lancer.
Mitsubishi Lancer.
Not the
is
Evo,
Lancer.
not the Evo, right? The normal Lancer.
Just
yeah,
a regular Lancer.
Yes.
we're gonna have this race at on the 31st of August, 2023. So we'll basically be running 25 minutes of practice. Briefing will be held 10 minutes before qualifying, and of course 10 minutes quali. And then coming on to the actual race at 10 p.m. GMT plus 8, okay, 10 p.m. Malaysian time. We'll be having the 69 minutes. Of,
Funny number goes burr.
yeah, funny number goes per, exactly. So we'll be racing in Sepang, in the Sepang International Circuit. If you all are interested to join, okay, to those in chat, if you are interested to join, this event's open to everyone. You can scan the QR code on the bottom right corner, or you can just type in that Discord link. If you all haven't been following our social media, you should follow our social media as well. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you like the stream, be sure to join. Be sure to give us a thumbs up. You can comment all the things, all the praises or criticisms or whatever. Or you can still watch the race as well.
Yeah, we
All right.
appreciate the feedback that you guys give, as well as in the descriptions. You actually can get socials for all the socials. Social for the MSRL, Twitters, Instagram, as well as our Discord. And other than that, you also have the socials for all three of us: Psycho Kaiser, Newbie, as well as Path. If you want to see us in other streams or on our own streams.
Yep, nice plug. And we have actually you can join our Discord server in the description of video as well. So yeah, you can join us for our ACC races. We have our own ACC races, and of course the F1 race. I'm not sure when the F1 race is going to be held in. I heard it's still in the works, but I'm not sure if it's going to be in F1 22 or F1 23. Let's just say the state of F1 games as of recently is a bit. That's all I can say. I cannot describe it with words, but it's a big yikes.
Kunos,
That's all.
not Kunos. Cody's being Cody's.
Not Kuno. Okay, Kuno's has been doing a really good job, right? It's funny because like,
not for the BOP. The BOP is not good.
okay, yeah, not for the BOP, but then again, like we're talking about competitive games here, right? Competitive games do tend to have like sometimes questionable BOPs. It's just not a people pleaser. It's not a people pleaser aspect of the game, if I must say. I'd like to say, I do agree about the BOP thingy, because like now the 1.9, now version 1.9 has the reworked tire physics, so that means like quite a number of cars can actually match the let's say the old cars. Some of them anyway can still match the current gen or even the new gen cars. But of course, they have their own limits. Like me being, let's say, like I also play ACC. I mainly drive the Lexus, and the Lexus is, to describe it lightly, is just a slidey boat. I mean, it steers like a boat a bit, but the rears like to have a bit of fun, while we're at it. But of course, and of course I'm on one of the wrongest controllers, one of the wrongest input controls. probably for the game. So yeah, driving on a controller isn't really that fun for a beginner, but somehow I got to kind of vibe with the Lexus. But
I
yeah,
think the Lexus also benefits a lot more by being compliant with strong inputs. The downside of controller is that you have a limited road motion for how much you steer, and the Lexus being a very compliant car where you can just swing it in and it will just work for you, has definitely helped make your work cut out for how you want to drive. But I heard from the grapevines that someone's getting a new wheel.
I mean, okay. Look. If anything, I know I'm mostly known for like driving ACC on a controller, but I would say that it may take quite a lot of time for me to like transition into that. But I'd say like if anything, I'd probably use the wheel as in a casual manner for now. Just to get used to how you steer, because like I like to think my left thumb is probably the strongest part of my body at the moment. But yeah, now I'm gonna have to like use my arms instead.
It's funny. Sim racing is the one thing that got me into going to the gym and being fit. So
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a very good excuse for you to start hitting the gym cycle.
All right. Yeah, how flame my arms are sometimes.
Start benching, buddy. 10 push-ups.
Stop. All right, it's fine. Okay, put them in a Porsche Cup car, says Flaky. Easy BOP. So wait, hang on. So you want to put
Easy
Raiden
bumps.
Shogun in a Porsche Cup car?
No, put you
Are
in the
you
Porsche
sure
Cup
about
car.
that?
Put you in the Porsche Cup car.
Okay, I can challenge accept it at some point. All right, but yeah. So yeah, how's okay, to those in chat and of course to the other commentators as well. How are y'all finding the race so far?
I think the bigger question you should ask is how Pav is finding the race so far. They've not heard from Pav a lot.
We've had so much drama. They don't need to hear from me. That's the race.
Yeah,
No. We need to hear from your perspective because like
I've been
as well,
asking
though-
questions the whole time.
But you represent chat.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
been reading for chat. Like I was the one who pointed out about the Prius thing. It's like you guys don't even hear me.
Well, speaking of we didn't hear you, there was a technical issue earlier that we didn't
Yeah,
hear
what
you.
was happening just now?
I don't know.
Oh, was it?
What technical issue?
Yeah, I thought,
But we fixed it. We fixed it, which is important.
By the way, is that Azrin in second?
Yes.
Yeah,
Our
Azrin
number
is in
555
second.
Azrin is in second.
Yeah, we mentioned him earlier.
By the sheer of surviving and making sure that there's no mistakes.
Wait, so then like, is he a lap behind or anything? No, he's
No.
just in second
No.
overall.
Yeah, he's on
37
pace and in second
seconds.
overall. He
He's
is 30 seconds
gunning
behind.
for the podium
Yeah.
with 26 minutes to go.
They are, pretty far behind. They are 3 seconds. They will be on the podium. They won't be in first. I'll tell you that. But it's a good place to be. He mentioned that he wants to make his father proud because his father helped him with the setup.
Wait, but
I
you can
think-
see Raiden. You can see him on the horizon.
No, that's Switz.
Oh, that's not Raiden. Oh,
That's Switz.
wait.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Oh my God. Okay,
This is a lap down, which is
that's
what I
how
said.
far ahead Raiden is.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is what I said just now when Azrin came out the pits, is that they were just next to Switz, and for Switz it was important for Switz to start gapping Azrin just so that they could get rid of the blue flag, and I think they're doing fine with that thing right now. And Azrin being really good. Oh, and Adip just got a yellow flag. What did happen? Oh my god.
Oh my goodness!
No!
Oh, that's gonna be
Adip, what are you doing?
Oh, okay. This is gonna be very questionable. I do hope no one is on the map at the moment.
No,
okay,
he's
thankfully,
here.
no one's on the around
replay
that
this?
part of the track.
He's
But yeah,
died
we're gonna
3
replay
times
this
over.
part.
Oh
Oh,
my
just clipped
God.
a bit of the skyline, but I think like
Oh no.
he may
Oh,
have
no.
lost.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
that's,
Watching.
yeah,
This
that's not
is
a good
death.
line for
That's
Tipper.
death right there.
Yeah, never ever
Oh
go
my
over
God.
that curve. Oh, that's yeah. Thankfully, it's only one car over there, so
I think
we
I think
could
the
actually-
BMW as well, just being a very heavy car. Basically, what Adip tried to do was he tried to be heroic. Usually, what you do is you're supposed to brake after the what you call it, after the crest. So when you brake after the crest, you're supposed to be predictable, be little bit agile on the brakes. just so that you don't muck up. And being the BMW, being a very heavy car, you have to be
Oh,
really,
what has happened
really
again? Oh.
precise there. And basically what happens, I think Adib just returned to pits. I think they're retiring this round. This has just
Yeah.
not been a race for Adib, and it's just unfortunate lah.
Yeah, I think he's having like suspension damage in that one as well.
Yeah, it is a
But-
very big crash, and I can't put it past Adib to just give up. It has been a very long race. It is unfortunate, but you know, we all have to try once, and it's just unfortunate. Like, I think
Well,
I
you have
think
to try
the crashes have
3
just got into
times
his
at
head.
Dipper.
Yeah, the dipper is the corner that is it yeah, the corner that we've been through, and time again it has claimed drivers here all around, just from the sheer lack of experience. I think a lot, as we said before, a lot of the drivers here have their first time here. Delvin's one of them.
Was Jordan spit out
Wait,
also
Delvin
at
was
Dipper?
one of them?
Yeah, I think it's Delvin's first time at Bathurst, as well as Florian's.
Huh.
Yeah, so-
Alright, no, because I thought he may have raced a bit in Bathurst at one point, but yeah,
that's not
I
what
was
I
actually
heard,
quite surprised.
Tough.
Yeah,
Maybe
so-
competitively, I'm not
and
sure.
and also compounding the fact that, you know, it's a really demanding track. You're bound to make mistakes unless you're the type that just never makes mistakes. With the grids so close to each other, you're bound to try to greedy, you know, take a few tenths here, a few tenths there, just to make sure they can get up in pace. And it's just unfortunate lah, because there's no runoff here. You can't just go into the gravel. If you're gone, you're gone. So it is what it is. It's an unfortunate victim, but car racing for you.
So yeah, we're riding on board with Florian Herzog at the moment. He's currently in P3, but of course he's gonna have a challenger behind him in the form of Amirul Naim. So the Mercedes driver in P4, I think we've already recapped what happened earlier, but if you just joined for our very eventful race at the moment. So yeah, Amirul Naim started, I believe he started in P2. He stayed there for like a quarter of the race until a spin at the top of the mountain cost him a relatively comfortable second place. So he's gonna have to fight for the podium again. He may or may not catch up to Azrin. Probably not because currently Herzog is 17 seconds behind Azrin. So it's gonna be probably a tough mountain to climb. I mean, they're already climbing a mountain as we speak, but yeah. Herzog may have to play the defensive game against Naim. So Naim currently hunting for another podium position. Last round in Suzuka, he already got a podium. And Dalvin!
my
Oh,
God.
Dalvin has spun again. Oh, what has happened this time? All right, so yeah, now we go onto the TV camera. We're gonna go on the replay for Dalvin. Oh, it just touched the grass.
Touched the grass.
Oh
Oh,
my
no.
goodness, that is yeah.
So little. He barely touched it.
Yeah, here's the thing as well. We are on slicks. You might not know this. Slick tires are basically smooth. You know how usually car tires you have like threads? Yeah, slick tires are basically smooth. What happens is that once you get any sort of dirt on them, it's basically an entire flat surface that has no traction. And that's just gonna send you across the grass as fast as a click. And it's important to not get them dirty. That's why when you see just now as Farhan went into the gravel and came back out, they basically lost all traction and just spun out in front of Switz. And that's just the characteristics of a slick tire, is that any sort of dirt, any sort of impurities, any sort of coarseness on the track is gonna make it hard for them to be consistent and to have any sort of traction. It's actually easier here compared to iRacing, whereas in iRacing, any sort of impurities is gonna send you off the wall and there's no returning at all. In ACC, you still have some control. In iRacing, you get no control at all.
Yeah,
I am going wide.
Right, anyway, we are under 20 minutes remaining of this race, but really the whole race has been very eventful. Quite a number of drivers have been in the list of, the Bathurst hell on the wall, I would say. But yeah, I think like most of the drivers, but except for the top 3 at the moment. So this really goes to show that, you know, if you keep it clean in Bathurst, you know, the Bathurst, the heavens up there will just will just get you the rewards, you know.
Yeah, it's important to keep it clean. As you can see, even though Naim is slightly quicker from last lap's calculations, they are 2 times quicker than Herzog. It's still a very long climb, and Naim was supposed to be fighting for second, and because of the damages that he has before, as well as now, actually, if you see their car right now, they do have some small damage, likely from tapping the wall, and it's just gonna affect them. It's gonna affect them through corners. They're gonna be a bit scared of, you know, pushing it to the limits. But if they realize that they are, you know, 2/10 quicker than them every single lap, they might just end up with Naim might just overtake Herzog, because the car is actually quicker. Looking at the top speed that they have, their best top speed, the Mercedes is more than 5 kilometers faster than the Lamborghini. So as long as he keeps his nose clean, you know, keep at it, sooner or later he might just actually overtake Herzog as the gap closes down from 1.9 seconds 2 laps ago to 1.5 now. So in a few more laps you might see a very close battle. It's up to Naim to see how they're going to overtake them. If they are close enough coming out the elbow and going down into corner straight, they might just have a good slant at the chase, giving it a very good run for them, so that they could have a very good run into the start finish straight. Then they will just be set for the entire race. But it's up to Naim to make it clean. If not, then it'll be Florin taking him back third for the rest of the race.
Right. So at the moment, looking at the live delta, we have that data, FYI. So currently, Naim is actually close to his previous lap time, and in contrast, Herzog actually is almost 3/10 of his previous lap time. So I'm starting to think that Herzog may have made some mistakes, or probably just not on newer tires. But of course, anything can happen in Bathurst. There's gonna be a battle happening, because I think Naim's gonna close. Most likely, Naim is gonna be under 1 second on the next lap.
Yeah,
Right.
I think the gap is really closing in. I think Florin has definitely been making mistakes. Likely also that his tires are going. If you've seen earlier in the race that Florin's been sliding around, you know, their driving style as well as the low TC that they're having might be biting them back and giving them a hard time, because running out of traction here is not a good idea, because you need all the traction up the mountain. Any sort of lack of traction is going to just affect it.
We haven't really had time to take a look at who's been pitting, who hasn't, people who crashed.
Right. So yeah, we're gonna go to the lead of the race for a bit. Currently, the leader, Raiden Shogun, is 43 seconds. He's about to lap Dalvin.
Oh my lord.
Okay, I'm gonna say that this is quite. I don't know how to put it lightly, but basically, it's you know, this is not really what we're looking for at the moment. But yeah, currently Dalvin. Dalvin has some damage on his car.
Yeah, Dalvin has a lot of damage. Remember when he spun at the start?
Ah, right.
Oh,
So
he
you can
has
see the
more. He
damage.
has more.
He has more, huh?
Yeah, the front of the
So it
car is a
seems
bit
that-
off.
Yeah, it seems that we may have missed the crash that they had basically, and yeah, it looks like Dalvin's age just gets worse. He's gonna have to dive back into the pits. I'm not sure if he's been given a black and orange flag. If y'all don't know what a black and orange flag is, basically the race officials determine that you are unsafe on track. You can think of it as just you being a hazard. You have too much damage to continue, so you have to pit like it or not. But yeah, I think like Dalvin may have been given the black and orange flag, just to force him into the pits to get some repairs. Anyway, yeah, back to Raiden Shogun. He has been leading flawlessly for the entirety of the race. Actually, like, I think in the start he almost lost the lead over to Naim, but of course he held his ground, and currently he's he's been really soaking in the view of the mountain, I would say.
Yeah, definitely
And,
representing his team really well and a very good livery.
Yeah, definitely. So I think like Raiden's gonna really have a good time over on this part of the track. I think as long as he keeps it clean around like any part of the track, he could just honestly he could just like lift off a bit and just do a Sunday drive
You know,
around the
he could just
mountain.
hit right now for another set of tires and it won't be a problem. Azrin
Yeah,
is 44 seconds
definitely.
behind. With a pit stop, it's usually about 30 seconds or so if you're just
God.
going in for fuel. So
Yeah.
go in, take a bit of fuel, come back out. It won't be an issue.
So it's currently a McLaren 1-2, so both McLarens are doing really well in this race. Yeah, Azrin in the AM class, so I think this is probably the first time an AM driver is going to be in P2.
Yeah,
in the
I think
overall
he's just gonna
podium.
secure it here.
Yeah, definitely. I think like we also have a battle for P3 at the moment. So both Florian Herzog and Amirul Naim, both of them are gonna be in for like a great battle in and down under. And yeah, both of them seemingly trying to pressure each other into making mistakes. So I think like we shall see what will unfold in this battle. And FYI, this is a battle for the top 3. This is a battle for third. What has happened with Farhan, Porsche Farhan. So I think like we shall check the replay of that.
Oh my god.
Oh, it just locks the rear brakes and just goes into that part of the hill. Okay, so that's actually, to be fair,
doesn't cost him a position.
it doesn't cost him a position, but of course it's gonna be very embarrassing to look at. I would say. I mean that's probably one of the Porsche's traits. Just if, but I'm not sure. Probably
Just one
it's
last
just,
seizure before, one last seizure before the end of the race for the show for the fans.
Well, I think
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
also just the characteristics of the. Where is Hudson? Oh, the heck?
Plus with his
Oh, no. Sometimes it
worn down
happens.
tires,
It
with the damage.
disappears.
Yeah,
It's just
but
going to be tough.
no, the thing about the Porsche is that in setups, usually, even for my setups, your brake bias is actually pretty much rearwards. Usually,
Ooh,
brake
look at
bias
Naim
is
right
based-
here. Is gonna go
oh
on the
my
outside of turn 2.
God. Go back to that later.
Okay, what's gonna happen here?
Sandy.
Around the outside, Naim goes. Where's he gonna come out? Oh, they're both side by side.
Very
On to
respectful
turn-
for both
What will
sides.
you do? What will you do?
Oh, look at this, up in the hill. Oh, you should not try to overtake there. Alright, so both of them are going a bit cautiously over there. Okay, 2 does not make it up in that section. I think I learned that the hard way.
I think Naim knows that so well that, they think they tapped the wall a bit there.
Ooh, quite close to the wall, yeah.
I think they tapped it. They definitely tapped it because they're
Definitely
pulling back a
tapped
bit.
it, huh? Okay, we should check the replay for a bit. Probably in the passenger side.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's a tap to the wall. Thankfully, it
Luckily-
isn't too big of
Yeah,
damage.
a small
so
tap
we
here
should
isn't
be
much of
able
a
to
damage, but
continue. Yeah.
it's all about compounding effects. You might have a lot of damage at this point. You might raise a bit of this wall, but giving yourself too much side damage might give you a risk of actually giving you suspension damage. I think it's important that Naim knows to not push it too hard. You still have 10 minutes to go. You're so close already. Any sort of damage is going
Yeah.
to give you drag, and that's not going to be favorable to you. So it's
Yeah,
important for Naim
definitely.
to just
So,
chill out,
yeah.
slow it down, and the time will come.
Indeed. So the battle's still on for P3. Herzog still holding his ground over over Naim at the moment. So both drivers are really going at it for the last spot of the podium position. All right. So we have like 10 minutes. We have around 10 minutes before the race is over. Of course, anything can happen in Bathurst, as we've seen throughout the whole race. There's been quite a number of incidents. Thankfully, not a pileup, but of course, a lot of the drivers just making mistakes. I think almost all of the all except 3 drivers just going into the wall for a bit. Anyway, Naim going around the outside. Will he make it? Oh, Herzog is still on the inside. They both are side by side. into this turn. Okay, onto the right king. What will he do?
Hey,
All right, so there
Uh,
you go. All
The
right,
fastest
Naim
at
is up
long
to
last with
P3.
9 minutes of the clock.
But I
Right, there
think.
you go. But the battle's not over yet. I think like
Oh
Herzog.
my
Oh,
god.
No, wait!
so close to the wall
Wait!
there. I think he's
Saved.
I
He
think
saved.
he's
Greedy, he
oversteered.
wants it back.
He saved it. Yeah,
Yeah, he saved it,
just
but
saved that.
definitely greedy. He definitely wanted it back.
Yeah, we should see this.
I'm on the
Oh, I
curve.
think he just tapped
Oh.
the curve a bit. I
Oh,
think
tapped the wall a
he's
bit.
just given up. Yeah. Yeah, his
But-
rear tires have given up already.
That is the dangers of actually racing here because you're following someone so close that you know the Mercedes can mount the curves, but the Huracan just never should mount the curves. And when you follow a Mercedes so close, you don't know if they're gonna do things that your car can't. And I think that's just what happened here, where Naim kind of usually goes for the curb, whereas the Huracan doesn't. And what happens is that you know it upset the car and basically just lost it.
Right. So at the moment, I'd say that Herzog probably still has a bit of fight left in him, but for how much longer? I mean, even though we have 8 minutes remaining, he could just stay close to Naim, probably try to pressure him into a mistake. But of course, Naim driving a really well race, bar the the midpoint of the race, I believe.
Yeah.
And apart from that, like Naim has been driving brilliantly.
The Mercedes is definitely really comfortable here. If you make a setup good enough here, it basically will be very tame, very compliant, because the Mercedes itself is very compliant around curves, and given Bathurst is a very bumpy track, it's gonna work in Mercedes' favor a lot. But that doesn't mean that the Huracan cannot be quick here. I think Herzog just needs to keep his head down, make sure to pressure Naim as much as possible. They are at this point out of the slipstream margin, but I think they are definitely as quick as the Mercedes at the hill. And so long as they keep their nose clean, they might have a contention as they see, slowly gaining 10th each lap, just slowly chipping it away. Hopefully, we can see a close battle at the end, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean nothing's impossible at the moment. Still have 7 minutes to go, even though that might not be much, but still anything could happen in this race. Anyway, Dalvin has come into the pits
What
again.
happened to Delvin?
I think it's probably again.
Oh,
Yeah,
Delvin.
that looks to be like some form of damage still.
Delvin.
Car. Yeah, so Dalvin, literally literally going a 180 from last week. So, last week Dalvin scored P2. He was on a podium overall, but of course this is just an embarrassing day for him. I would say that he'll not look back into this race with all the positivity in here, but I think like he may as well just. He may as well either just run through the race or just retire. I think it's not really worth it to retire yet because still any points would count. At the moment, I think like Dalvin and Adip. Okay, Dalvin and Adip currently they both would be fighting for position for P8. So points is still points. We shall see how it goes. But yeah, we're tuning back into the battle for P3. I think Herzog may as well just back off at this point because his gap is currently 2.2 seconds between each other. So I think like Naim is probably just checking out at this point. But of course, I think Herzog may be hoping that Naim makes another mistake.
It might be also just that Foreign's tires just gave out. We have 5 minutes left in the race, and at this end stage of the race, the tires are basically on its last leg, especially with how early Florian pitted. I think most of the drivers pitted at hour mark, which is for me personally a bit too early. I would have recommended somewhere between the 45-minute or maybe even at the hour, just so that you can have more tires at the end. But at this stage,
the race gets harder as it goes on.
oh yeah, definitely. as you drive longer into the race, your fuel tank gets lighter, which is good. But at the same time, the tires get less and less. Where's Adib? Why is Adib stopped there?
Oh, what happened? What happened to Adib?
I did start a while ago, didn't?
I don't recall.
I remember he went onto the gravel and just stopped.
Oh, he did.
Did he
but...
run out of fuel?
Oh no.
No, it didn't sound like the engine was.
No, engine's still
running.
on. I think they might have a technical issue.
Yeah. No, I didn't hear any.
Oh, he's going again.
Oh,
I think
never
he
mind.
had a
He's still
technical
running.
issue. Yeah, he's still had a
Yeah.
technical issue. But
Right.
yeah.
So it's alright. Good for Adib.
Yeah,
but
I
at
think
the moment we
going
are-
back to just now, what oh my God,
Oh,
Delv, what are you doing?
Dalvin again. What is going on with Dalvin? His day.
Oh, no.
His day could.
You still have to
not just
finish the
get
race,
worse.
Dalvin.
Exactly. To finish first, you must finish.
Oh
he
my
just,
God.
Oh, just bump the curb again on the chase.
Y'all gotta stop being so greedy.
All right, no. I don't think it's a matter of being greedy. I just don't get why Dalvin would go over that curve.
Yeah, I think no, because
you
you're.
know that it's high.
I
Because
can't
so
tell.
down.
It might be also just that I think Delvin's losing concentration at this point.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, it is a 90-minute race. It is a very long race, and I think for some of y'all that are used to F1 driving, that are not used to endurance racing, 90 minutes is a very long toll. I'm used to,
Actually, it's
2
not.
hours, 3
I would
hours
say
of
it's not
driving.
much of a long toll. It's actually a full length F1 race.
Yeah, but usually we don't race full.
I mean, we race like 1 hour, I guess.
Somewhat, but
Max 1 hour.
Yeah,
like
but
1 hour and a half. is
you'll be
still-
surprised how much 30 minutes extra actually puts a toll on you if you're not used to it.
Yeah, definitely. Just
But
probably have to put a lot of practice.
Apparently, Adib went into
Beauty.
photo mode at the mountain, so that explains it.
Sorry, what?
Went into photo mode. I think they accidentally hit the F7 button.
Oh.
Oh my
Right,
God,
oh.
Farhan.
What is that?
Farhan,
What is
he
follow
taps the
mode?
wall bit.
Photo mode
brush
is,
the wall.
is essentially how you enter into a free camera mode. So what happens in free cam is that you can you can frame your shots, and you can change your focal point, change your focus, and it's how we make our thumbnails. So if you see the race thumbnail that we have, as well as you see any sort of images that we share in the Discord, it's usually done in photo mode where we frame the camera just right, get the focal point right, get the motion depth of field just right. Rewind the car. Oh my God!
What was that?
Oh, that is a
Watch
retard.
Farhan just
That is
smashes
a
the
car
wall.
that's going back into the pits.
Yep, exactly. So what has happened here? All right, so they were going normally here, but I think wait, okay, that's a bit of a mystery right there.
No, that's just the rear brakes locking up. What happens is that when your
Yeah.
rears lock up, you start to dance.
Final lap now.
And
Right.
it's essentially
Anyway,
just the car
Legions on the
speed.
final lap at the moment, so not really final lap. The timer has counted down to 0, so I think we're gonna have another lap.
No, it's not. It's not zero yet.
Before the flag falls, because like because I heard the call that said leaders on the final lap, so I'd say that it's gonna take like at least another lap before.
Yeah, it's gonna take another
the-
lap.
Yeah, so Raiden has been like driving really flawlessly. I think he's been dominating this race since lap 1. I think actually even during qualifying as well. So he's doing a really stellar job. Now it's just the final lap. I think he can just bring it home. Probably he could just cruise.
You can definitely cruise it home. It won't be. an
Yeah.
issue.
All right, last lap pit lane limited challenge.
Hey, no, please don't do that.
I mean, you could probably try at this
You might
point,
as
but
well,
of course,
right?
gap's not really that big, is it? Would be fun. It would be funny though. Right. So anyway, onto the first long straight, going uphill onto turn 2. Okay, this corner has seen quite a number of victims. A
lot of
couple of
victims.
times.
Actually, no.
Not as much as Skyline, but still. It's seen a number of victims falling over, falling into the wall. I would say,
Yeah.
just smashing into it.
But I think we can see that, out of all the drivers here, we do see very strong drivers. I think the biggest improvement that we have this round is Nine. It's definitely Nine. Nine
Yeah.
has, went from spinning more than 3 times last race to
I'd
not
say
making
not
a single
just
mistake at all.
Nine. I'd say Azrin as well. So
Oh, sorry, yeah, Azrin. Naim's the one that has the damage. Azrin's the one that's improved a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say that someone in chat earlier mentioned that come on 555 podium for birthday gift or something. I'm not sure if it's birthday,
Yeah.
but I'd say if it's Azrin's birthday, okay, happy birthday. Okay, hope you enjoyed this this podium for now. But yeah, right, it's okay. It's still a long way to go. 48 seconds between Shogun and Azrin, but I think like Azrin can probably cruise it a bit. But of course, do it a bit cautiously because Naim is 14 seconds behind. I think Naim has been catching Azrin for quite a number of times, but of course, won't be enough because Raiden Shogun is just coming through the penultimate corner and onto Mori's corner, the final corner of this track. And he's gonna do it in spectacular fashion. Right, so yeah, Raiden Shogun wins the Mount Panorama Grand Prix round 2 of MSRL ACC Season 3. And of course, give a massive applause to M. Azrin.
We're not done yet. We're
Been
still on
driving
the
pretty
Conrad
well.
Straight. We still have a very long way to
still
go.
on the Conrad Straight still, but it's alright. Still a few corners to go. Anything could happen here, but I would say that Azrin's gonna have to just like cruise carefully, right?
Run out of fuel.
Bring it home. Just bring it home. Take the checkered flag, and what a race for him. Given us how he's witnessed all the chaos that has unfolded, probably in front of him, behind him, everywhere. Coming out to the final corner, M. Azrin makes it a McLaren 1-2. And he's one am.
And Delvin
there you
into
go.
the
That's I believe that's Delvin crossing onto the finish line.
definitely
Actually,
not
something
happy.
happened to M. Farhan. Okay, something has happened to M. Farhan earlier.
He ran out of fuel.
Yeah, out of fuel. Interesting.
Out of fuel?
Might have run
Right,
out of fuel.
so yeah, Naim crosses the finish line in P3, completing the podium position. Herzog in P4, Ferrari Farhan into P5, snatching P2 in the AM class race. I should also mention that Azrin wins the AM race for this one, the AM class.
And you might actually see Spritz winning, being Porsche Farhan. If my calculations are correct, he might go into and he does.
He's a P6. Yeah, there you go.
Hey.
Right, so yeah, I think Farhan, Porsche Farhan, couldn't make it to the finish line. He's already out of fuel, so he'll still finish ahead of Dalvin. Interestingly enough, but yeah, all right. Well done to everyone for the amazing race. Again, we've all enjoyed all the chaos. So yeah, to the commentators, to everyone, who has been your driver of the day?
My driver of the day is definitely Azrin. From being
Yep.
from being
I
the driver that's been having a lot of mistakes in round 1, all the way to being second. No mistakes, beating out a lot of the pro drivers in the team, and just overall being a very good driver. Long ways to improve. I'm very proud of him, and I think he definitely has a shot in the pro series. With how much they improve, we might see them get promoted prematurely, but we definitely have more races to go. I think Bathurst is not really a good indicator for pace because we can see a lot of drivers still making mistakes. But over the season, we might see how drivers get along, how the grid goes, and we'll see how Farhan, survives this entire series.
Oh yeah, definitely. So Pav, what do you think of the race?
I
and,
know.
who's your
Azrin is
driver?
of course Azrin is our star of the show. I mean, we've got Raiden Shogun all the way up in front, and Azrin stealing a nice solid second place. But I've got an appreciation for A9 battling it out in the trenches out for third position, constantly fighting with everyone in the back, making his own mistakes. Azrin won by being consistent, but Naim made mistakes and still had to fight his way forward.
Right, interesting. So yeah, I'd go with Azrin as
World
well.
War III.
Like, it's really rare nowadays to see an AM driver make it to the podium nowadays. But of course, that has been a thing. I think Azrin kept it clean throughout the whole race, and of course, congratulations to him. And I hope to see more performances. I think like if he keeps up this performance at this rate, he may as well get promoted to pro class. Right. So yeah, I do hope you all have enjoyed today's still eventful race. Of course, quite a number of incidents here and there, and we see the some dramatic moments. I think I feel really bad for
Some.
Dalvin. I feel really bad for Delvin, to be honest, because like he could have been up there throughout the whole season. I know he has the potential to, but sadly in Bathurst, I think probably Bathurst doesn't really like Delvin somewhat, but it's okay. We still have a long way to go in the championship. So next race would be in Kyalami, so that will be on the 4th of August, 2023.
Forecast tells me it's wet.
Oh, interesting.
I think it's gonna be Pat's first time seeing it pour on track.
Oh, Pav, you're gonna probably like it when it's wet. Yep.
What?
Yeah.
What did you just say to me?
Yes, I saw that. I'm proud of it, mayhaps, but yeah, there you go.
So shut down the stream. Shut down the stream.
Very
Oh,
out
we'll
of
see.
context,
The forecast might
yeah.
not be accurate, but we'll see what happens. But that's gonna be happening in 2 weeks' time.
Mhm.
And so next
So
week
it's-
is the practice week. So drivers usually have 2 weeks to practice. One to practice, the other to actually be racing. So we are pretty lenient here. It's pretty chill. And
What's it
if
called?
you
The Grand
want to
Prix
come and see,
circuit?
it's sorry,
Why is it called the Grand Prix circuit?
it's just the name of the circuit.
No, just the
Yeah.
track, right?
So actually, you have a lot of tracks that have the Grand Prix circuit, the name Grand Prix in it. So you have the Suzuka circuit, the Kalami Grand Prix circuit. There is a lot of another track that has the Grand Prix name in it, but I kind of forgot. Do you remember, Psycho?
Sorry, what?
The track that has the Grand Prix name in it. I know Kyalami is one of them.
Yeah, Kylam. Oh, what? An ACC?
Yeah, or any track in the world.
Okay, Silverstone.
Silverstone
let's
Grand
see.
Prix is one of them.
Silverstone, Spa, Spa-Francorchamps, Monza.
But they don't have the Grand Prix name. I know that the Nürburgring has the G.
Yeah,
but they just call it the
Nürburgring. Yeah,
GP.
Nürburgring has the GP name,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Which is basically the Grand Prix in short.
I'd say Donington. Donington
No,
as well.
Donington is
because-
Donington Park.
Yeah, I know, but like, I thought they had the GP circuit layout or whatever.
Anything to look
Yes.
forward to in the Kyalami?
Kalami is a very long sweeping corner track. So what happens is that you have very long sweeping corners through Sunset. You have it's a very downforce heavy track, and with rain being in the mix, right? You're gonna have issues capitalizing on the downforce because you have issues with the grip, and I think it's also a very technical track. It's gonna be similar to Bathurst. It's gonna be it's
Picard?
gonna have sorry.
Nothing. No, someone in chat said Picard.
Oh, Paul Ricard. No,
Paul
Paul
Ricard.
Ricard doesn't count because the Grand Prix circuit has the chicane in between the straights.
Wait, what the fuck is... Wait, Picard is Paul Rickard? What the hell?
Yeah,
Yes,
Paul Ricard.
Paul
Yeah.
Richard.
Oh my god.
we just shorted it to PR or Picard.
Yeah, Picard.
Yeah.
I've never heard of the Picard, but
Yeah,
it's
speaking
alright.
back to Kyalami, it's a very there's very big altitude changes because you're going downhill and you're going uphill, so it's gonna be another technical circuit. But the good thing about Kyalami is that it has a very large runoff area, so this is gonna be safer for drivers. Although the very high downforce, very long high downforce corners are still gonna catch people off. At least you have the runoff to make sure that you don't crash out. I think it's gonna be interesting in a few weeks. I think we'll see it upset in the scoreboards, but it's still early. It's just round 2. We still have 4 more races to go. Is it 4 more races? Yes, 4 more races to go, and anyone's game at this point. Because you can see Arzrin getting P2. That's gonna upset Delvin's position for P2, but we'll see.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, and I think we'll have to see that by then. But yeah, thanks for coming by, everyone. It's been a fun 90-minute race. You guys got anything to add before we start the ending sequence?
So yeah, if you're still watching this race, don't forget we also have a race open for everyone. So yeah, we've been plugging this for quite a while now, but we've announced the Saga Taxi race. So this is in conjunction with Malaysia's Independence Day, which is the 31st of August. So if anyone has a Assetto Corsa and you would like to join us in some very funny shenanigans around Sepang at night, most likely, we'll be doing a 69 minutes endurance race in Sepang in the Saga. We'll all be running taxis. The the red and white car on the right side of the image, and yeah, if y'all want to join, you can scan the QR code on the bottom right corner. You can join in on our Discord. Alternatively, you can also click on the description of the video. We also have our Discord server link linked there. And of course, yeah, we hope to see you all racing in taxis.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Pav, you gonna join us?
Yeah.
I can't
Join
afford the
us.
game, man.
No,
Wait,
this
what
is
do you
Assetto
mean you can't
Corsa.
afford the game?
This is the cheap
What do you
one.
mean?
This is the cheap
Wait,
game.
oh!
It's not Competizione. It's the
It's his old little brother.
The regular 9. Oh, you mean the one that's only 9 ringgit on Steam?
Yeah.
It might be. I
Oh
forgot if it's
my-
still on sale or not.
Hang on. Right now it's 99
I
ringgits
think
or something.
summer sale, no?
Is it? Hang on. Okay, we're gonna do a quick check for a bit. Okay, Assetto Corsa.
While he's doing that, I guess I'll do the ending sequence for y'all.
Alright.
You know, thanks everyone for
Sure.
coming by.
Oh, it's 39 ringgits, but I think like you can just go for a sale. I would say.
Yeah, you'll come back on sale.
Yeah,
Assetto Corsa
just wait for like a
Competizione.
sale. It'll be
Right.
super cheap.
Yeah.
Like, trust me.
But
You go
yeah,
to single digits.
Either way, it's been fun having you all here. Thanks, Psycho, for being here. Thanks, Pav, for being here as well.
Yeah,
If anyone's interested in any one of our commentators today,
Thank you for having me.
yeah, it's been nice. The link to their channels are in the description below. And I hope to see you guys on round 3. This is Newbie signing off for MSRL. Goodbye,
Alright.
everyone.
Goodbye.